We have come to the end of the regular season, and America's Game of the Week finds us in Landover, Maryland, where the Washington Commanders play host to the Dallas Cowboys, and we say welcome to the booth. He's Greg Olson. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. And Greg, for Dallas, a lot on the line today. They could still win the NFC East with a win and an Eagles loss. More on them in just a moment. But for Washington, look, it's been a tough last month. They're 0-3-1. They've fallen out of the playoff mix. They can't get in. But in a team that's been dying for a quarterback for a long time, they're going to see if maybe they have something. They're going to start their rookie Sam Howell today.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, this Washington organization and frankly, this fan base, they've been yearning for quarterback stability for a long time. So they turned the keys over to Sam Howell, the fifth-round rookie out of North Carolina. But I think expectations need to be set. This is not an indication of what he's going to be as a player, good or bad. They want to see, what do we have here? There's a lot of optimism within that building that Sam Howell not only is going to be their starter today, but there's the potential that he could be the starter into at least the near future.
Yeah, but Washington fans still want him to throw for like 700 yards. So let's not get wrong about that. Meanwhile, with the Cowboys, like we said, there is something on the line. But Aaron Andrews, it will be interesting to see how they play it here today.
Yeah, you mentioned what has to happen for Dallas to win the division. And thank goodness, Kev, you did it. Because CeeDee Lamb saying, man, all these playoff scenarios, they just stress me out. I don't even want to think about it. Now, that's not to say there won't be some scoreboard watching over here on Dallas's sideline. Lamb saying, I'm sure somebody on our side is going to see the score and tell us all about it. We do know that here in the stadium, they will be displaying the score between the Eagles and the Giants. We also know Dallas plans to play their starters really until the Eagles are able, if they're able, to get a decent lead on the Giants. Why? Dan Quinn quoting Dumb and Dumber saying, oh no, what's the line? Saying, you're saying there's a chance. I almost forgot it. We love a little Dumber and Dumber. We love it when I'm not Dumb and Dumber and I don't forget the line. You're saying there's a chance.
You're telling me there's a chance. I love it. Anytime you can start the broadcast like that, nothing better. And it feels like football today. 42 degrees, no real wind that's affecting the field right now. And see Dak Prescott, last-minute conversation with the veteran Jason Peters. As Dallas won the toss, they've decided to receive, and here we go. America's Game of the Week. Good to have you aboard. As Turpin, look at Antsy, we'll take it out. Devontae Turpin, the Pro Bowler, has some room across the 25, penalty flies, and we start the game with that. Let's see what the penalty is. As Trey Blake, our referee.
Holding, return team, number 31. Penalty is half the distance to the goal, first down.
And so we see Dak Prescott, who has been, quite frankly, terrific since coming back from the injury, the fractured thumb earlier in the year. And when you're talking about how he does against the NFC East, it's awesome. He's 9-1, last 10 games against Washington, numbers through the roof. He's having a fantastic year. Started with Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield. And they'll run it to Elliott. Not much there. As his Cowboys offense, what they have done with Dak Prescott, talked about how well he's played, but overall the line has played well. They're averaging 35 a game since Dak has come back.
Yeah, and you know, there has been the one big issue that stuck out, as you mentioned. Since he came back from the injury, they've been playing arguably the best offense of any team in the league. It's been the interceptions. It's been some of the turnovers they've been vulnerable with. That's what Mike McCarthy wants to see cleaned up here today.
Here is another run to Elliott. Not much. Gets out to the 15. Well, look, you're talking about it since his return. Yes, there have been some interceptions, but do you like the ranks on the right? First points per game, first and third down percentage, and third in red zone scoring touchdowns. I mean, that's why they're playing so well. Both their losses are overtime losses on the road. 3rd and 5 here. Three-man rush. It's blocked up. Prescott all day over the middle. Caught. He's got a first down. That's Noah Brown who's got the connection up to the 25.
Yeah, this is a great job here by Noah Brown. This is like triple scramble drill. Dak Prescott has all day, and Noah Brown just keeps being friendly, coming back into that inside window. It's a nice job here by Dak, but credit to the offensive line for giving Dak the chance. to find Noah Brown there for the scramble and pick up the first down.
Some pressure. Prescott rolls away and throws it away. So for this Washington defense, there was out some really key players today. Jonathan Allen is out with a left knee injury. They're missing Jamin Davis, their starting linebacker. Cam Curl, their starting safety. But overall, Greg, their D's been pretty darn good this year.
They have. They're very good on third down. They're very good in the areas that matter. And as you mentioned, each week they've lost a couple key guys. Of course, Jonathan Allen. Chase Young being back. We're going to keep an eye on him. You see him here at the top of the screen, still working his way back from that ACL.
Here's Pollard trying to get to the edge. Pollard out across the 30 for his hit there. Pollard back, missing last week's game with a thigh injury.
Yeah, so I think for Dallas, what they want to see today, you mentioned with Dak, they want to get this run game going. They want to get this new look offensive line combination with the injuries to Tyler Biadasz, the center. Connor McGovern slides in there. Terrence Steele, the really good right tackle, he's out. Tyron Smith, the veteran, slides from left to right. They want to get this O-line settled in with this new combination, get some confidence back in their run game, and then the passing game, as we said. A couple turnovers aside, it's been on fire since Dak's been back.
A third down, draw to Pollard, knifing up the middle, going to be short. It'll be a 4th down and 2. And here comes the punting team.
A nice stand there by this Washington defense. We mentioned they're top 5 in the league in third down. They get off the field. Without Jonathan Allen, they still have 3 former first-round picks in that front. Now, as you go to the second level in the defensive backfield, they're missing a lot of starters, but there's opportunities for guys to play today who, for Washington, get a good chance to evaluate.
Oh, Anger drops it, picks it up, in trouble, and he is dropped. Could not handle it. And then Milo Eifler with the stop, and a great start for Washington.
Yeah, there's nothing tricky about this. He just straight up drops it. You can see the ball's a little high, but super, easy catch. You can tell by his reaction, just frustrated. That's just a fluke play. Credit there to Eifler, just being able to secure the tackle and give the ball to your offense on the 20-yard line.
Yeah,
about his dream of a start Washington could ask for.
So here's Sam Howell, his NFL debut, 5th-round draft pick, and you're starting on the opposing 20-yard line. See what you can do. Start with a run to Williams with a good start. And is down to the 16 for he's barreled backwards. And so you look at Howell, again, drafted 5th round this year. A lot of people thought he would go higher than that, but come down to number 5. His last year at North Carolina, not as good as his first couple of years. We've seen 92 touchdown passes. It's the most in college football over the 3 years there. He was electric. Back to throw it for the first time. Going over the middle has McLaurin racing in for the end zone and a score. This NFL stuff is easy.
Well, I'm sure that's just how Washington draws it up. Your first NFL pass attempt goes for a touchdown. You can see Terry McLaurin, he's going to come in, he's just going to chatter, and he's just going to run a drag right across that middle backer, Damone Clark. He gets him to stop his feet, and then his speed there on the shallow cross. Simple play design by Scotty Turner, and man, what a dream start for Sam Howell, the young rookie making his NFL debut.
Extra point is up and good. Well, it started with Anger. He couldn't control the snap, dropped it, and then it was tackled immediately. And then there's Sam Howell. He's got a perfect passer rating. 1 for 1. Washington in front.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Burger King. You rule.
Welcome back to Landover with the Commanders out to a quick 7-0 lead. This is the most important game of my life. That's how Sam Howell described the opportunity to make his NFL debut as a starter, and he's off to a heck of a start as we've just seen. catching up with him on the field pregame, he said 25 family and friends here to see him make his debut. The most important message he received from Ron Rivera: I won't be judged just on one game. He told me to play loose, play free, and have fun. Well, that's about as good a start as you can have, guys. Wow, Sam Howell.
Oh, it's tough to top. Tom, first pass in the NFL, goes for a touchdown with the help of the special teams as well. So, yeah, that is pretty good. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Yeah, sometimes it's just very simple. They want to get the backer bar out, the corner cleared. So they do that with Logan Thomas. They do that with the back. And then it just makes it one-on-one for Terry McLaurin. Sits Damone Clark down. It's a very simple play design, but the spacing, knowing it's zone coverage, get your best player, Terry McLaurin, matched up with a middle linebacker. Easy throw for the young quarterback. Nice job there by Washington.
Now it's Dallas back on offense with Prescott looking to throw over the middle into traffic, and it is dropped. T.Y. Hilton had it right in his hands, and it brings up second down. You know, Hilton has been a welcome addition to this team. He's been active for 2 weeks since he signed. He caught the big pass on 3rd and 30 against the Eagles, and he had over 50 yards last week, so he's made an immediate impact. Just couldn't connect there.
And with how good CeeDee Lamb has been, Dallas is still searching for who is that number 2 threat. Who's that guy in the passing game that we can go to? Because as these playoffs approach, CeeDee Lamb's going to be the center of every defensive coordinator's game plan.
Here is Pollard. Immediate pressure. Bounces away to the outside, and Pollard running for his life there. F.A. Obata came up and forced him out of bounds. Going to pick up 3. You know, Pollard is 1 yard away from his first 1,000-yard season. And I know the Cowboys are playing to win this division, but you wonder, he's been hurt. I just wonder what his workload is going to be today. In there now on a 3rd and 7. Four-man rush. Prescott in trouble. In real trouble, and he is sacked. Montez Sweat.
Montez Sweat, Chase Young, the 2 defensive ends here for Washington. They put a ton of pressure on from the start. Dak has nowhere to go. He flushes out to the right, and what an effort there. Montez Sweat chasing it down, forces the sack. 2 big 3rd downs this Washington team's been able to get off the field, and that defensive line is the strength of this unit.
What a start for the Commanders. Anger this time makes a clean catch. Punts it away to Milne from the 32. He tripped up around the 38-yard line, and that's where we'll see Sam Howell throw another NFL pass. Can he go 2 for 2? 2 touchdowns and 2 passes. I mean, that may be a lot to ask, but you never know, Greg. You never know.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Well, who is Sam Howell? Besides a 5th-round draft pick this year in North Carolina, he's from Indian Trail, North Carolina. He was a Gatorade State Player of the Year. He set all kinds of UNC school records, passing yards, touchdown passes, and making his first start of his career, first playing time at all. And he was, he was really the 3rd guy this year, back up a little bit, but even some weeks in practice didn't get a lot of time to throw, or even on the scout team, because they had Wentz and Heineke. So it's, here you go. He throws the touchdown to McLaurin. He said this was the first time this week he'd ever thrown him a ball.
It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. How does he do on the second series? Going to throw it. Pressure in his face from where? On the run, throws it away. We've got a game break. A lot of important games going on. Carissa Thompson, what do you have for us?
A lot of action over here, Kev. So Brock Purdy, guess what? Thumbs it off to who else? Christian McCaffrey, who does the rest. Christian McCaffrey now has 10 touchdowns in 11 games with the Niners. Niners still have a shot at that number 1 seed with a win and Eagles loss. Kev?
Yeah, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. I feel like he's been in the league for 10 years the way he's playing. It's amazing.
We were there for that debut he made, and it was as impressive a rookie debut as we've maybe ever seen.
Williams And Jonathan Williams works his way to the 45. By the way, Washington today without Brian Robinson, their outstanding rookie, and Antonio Gibson, who they put on injured reserve earlier this week. So you're going to see a lot of Williams today.
Yeah, I think something else, for us to keep an eye on today. Sam Howell, of course, gets the early passing touchdown, but you look back to his time at North Carolina in college, he was a very good runner. I mean, there's going to be some design runs today. You already saw him on first down in this possession, then try to move him out of the pocket. Scott Turner, the offensive coordinator, he's not going to be afraid to rely on these legs of Sam Howell.
Stunt coming. Howell sees it, unloads, complete for a first. No, it was dropped. Could not hold on, McLaurin. And up comes fourth down, and here comes the punt.
Yeah, you don't see this very often. They just run a simple mesh concept, man-to-man, and Sam Howell puts it right on his face mask, and Terry McLaurin just makes an uncharacteristic drop.
That's so rare. He never drops them.
And I think for Washington, you got to be happy. Sam Howell, the rookie, standing there, had pressure in his face. Just waited to the last second for Terry McLaurin to clear, and you think that's got to be a first down.
Here's Turpin, and he fumbles the ball. And it's loose, and Washington looks like they have it with Holmes.
You just don't see this from a John Fossil, the special teams coordinator for Dallas. Two huge mistakes by the special teams units early in this game, and you see Holmes, he clearly recovers that muff, and again, Washington takes over deep inside Dallas territory.
Wow, you're right. And this is a good special teams unit. Turpin's a Pro Bowler, and there's Christian Holmes, the rookie, 7th round draft pick.
You see Turpin just kind of gets under it too much. The ball hits him high, almost off the bottom of his face mask.
Covered by the kicking team. He watched his ball first down. Timeout.
All right, so Washington football, they were looking at it for a moment. Washington has it up by 7 here in the first.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
So special teams hurting Dallas. Let's bring in Mike Pereira here as we look at the muff by Turpin. And Mike McCarthy was not thrilled discussing something. Mike, what do you think he was talking about here?
I think the question was, did he still get protection? Because he did signal for a fair catch. So if he muffs the ball, he still gets the opportunity to make the catch not being interfered with. But he has to have a clear opportunity. If the ball is bounced away from him and there's no chance to catch the ball, then it's not going to be interference.
Got it. See, there's the fair catch call.
Yeah, it's such a good point by Mike, but it clearly bounces, to your point, Mike, it bounces 2 or 3 yards directly into the hands of Christian Holmes of Washington.
And so look at this, twice in this game now, Washington takes over at the 20 or inside of the Dallas 20. Williams cutting back. And Jonathan Williams picks up a couple. So we will see a lot of Jonathan Williams today. He's bounced around the league a little bit. Washington's his 15, was a Buffalo 5th round pick in 2016. What a chance to, like a lot of guys today, even though Washington's eliminated, get yourself a roster spot for next year here or somewhere else. Second and 8. Williams again gets through one tackle and fights his way down near the 10. Dorrance Armstrong got his hands on him, bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, you brought up Jonathan Williams here, 41. We've seen him get some early touches and the opportunities he's getting for some other guys that are a little banged up and inactive today. You hear meaningless game thrown around a lot in Week 18 for all the teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs, but I've seen more guys make their careers playing in quote-unquote meaningless games where for them, these games are of the utmost importance. Guys not only earn spots on their actual team's roster, But if it's not here, there's 31 other teams that are evaluating this.
3rd and 5. Howell looking. Yeah, he is buried. Nowhere to go that time as Micah Parsons came up. Dorrance Armstrong there too.
Yeah, you see a little bit of that scramble ability as you see Micah Parsons a little slow to get up. That is a nightmare. Let's hope he's okay. He wins early, flushes Sam Howell out of the pocket. Sam Howell takes a big hit there by Dorrance Armstrong. Take a look here. Takes a big hit to the side as Micah Parsons cleaned him up, but looked like Micah Parsons was a bit slow getting up. Let's hope, of course, that he's all right.
So now it'll be Joey Sly for a field goal. 31 yards on the try. And the kick is shanked. No good. And so Washington blows a golden opportunity to add on. Dallas with a stop on 3rd. A little luck on the missed field goal. They get the football back. Down by 7. NFL postseason's upon us. You'll have a chance to win $50,000 at Terry's Money only on Fox Super 6. Just download the free Super 6 app now. And be sure to enter the 2 wildcard contests later this week for your chance to win big. See, Terry has up the security guard game in the ads, too, so that you know the money's getting higher. Here's the missed kick. It's like Greg Olson on the second tee box, wide open fairway, just snap hook into the woods.
I can't tell you how many times I've done this, but I can't tell you how many times I've seen from that distance the kicker just missing the net. Mike McCarthy's fired up. Right now, this start for Dallas has been, of course, less than ideal. I think right now your defense makes a huge stop following the sudden change, following the Turpin muff. You get a lucky break with the missed field goal. Now the offense needs to find their groove. They got to go down there, tie this thing up, make it a 7-7 game and say, okay, we started poorly, but we're good.
Prescott will go over the middle for a short gain there. Ferguson, the tight end. Yeah, it's been a game of miscues indeed for Dallas. Anger, perfectly good snap, just clanked it off the hands and then was tackled immediately. Washington capitalized, and then the muff right into the hands of Christian Holmes, but they missed the field goal. So 7-0 on the touchdown to McLaurin. 2nd and 6. Little flip, and that's nearly fumbled. Oh my goodness. This has just been one of those starts.
And Aaron in her open, she pointed out that yes, Dallas is still playing for a potential division championship. You'll see that kind of shovel lateral was thrown behind Zeke. Thankfully, he held on. He kind of pinned it on his helmet. But the idea right now for Dallas, in the most realistic scenario, is they just want to be playing their best ball. They want to play clean, getting in and out, and that's been the furthest from what they've been able to do.
3rd down, Prescott running. Can't find anyone, and he's taken down. Good chase that time by Daron Payne. And a punt coming up. Let's check in on that Eagles game with Carissa Thompson.
Yeah, Cowboys fans not going to want to see this. Eagles were already up 3-0. They clinched that #1 seed with a win. So Jalen Hurts hands it off to Boston Scott, who does the rest. Eagles leading 10-0. Okay.
And so we'll see. The Giants, as we know, thanks Carissa, are resting a lot of players today. A lot of players. You just wonder, like, Mike McCarthy, like, what's the score? What's the score before he's like, man, I've got to get a couple of these guys out of here.
You know, I'll tell you, on top of that, which is, of course, coming into the game on top of their mind, if that game goes to 30-0 and your team is struggling, playing the way they have early in this game, I think you want your starters, if you do take them out, to come out with some positive play.
Short kick, and that is fumbled, but Milne picks that up. Yeah, this has been sloppy in the early going, but Washington with the early 7-0 lead in their football here in the first. Sam Howell back on the field. Well, everyone around the league and really around the world just love for Damar Hamlin this week especially, and today. Tributes, t-shirts, hats. See here in Washington they highlight the 30 and the number 3. That's his number in Buffalo Bills blue. And he's watching the game and he looks great. He's made so many positive strides this week. See, he was tweeting game time. He was watching the game. He reacted when the Bills returned the opening kickoff of the game for a touchdown, which was nuts. See prayers everywhere for Damar Hamlin. It's really, I feel like it's really gripped the country in trying to will him and pray for him to get back to health, and he's doing much better. It's thankfully hopefully it continues for tomorrow. All right, so 4:45 to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Washington. Here's what's at stake today. You heard Carissa with the game breaks. If the Eagles win, they've got the #1 seed in the first round bye. The Niners need to win and have the Eagles lose. The Cowboys could still win the division and still get the #1. But they've got to win today and have Philly and San Francisco lose. Those are the scenarios. Jared Patterson in the game for the first time at running back. Howell to throw. Has time. Near side Patterson stays on his feet. And now they're going to say he's out of bounds. And get a penalty flag as well back in the secondary. As we wait to see the call here, Greg, I'm curious if you're Dan Quinn, what's your objective here today besides?
Prior to the pass. Holding. Defense, number 7. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Besides playing well, what's he trying to get out of today?
I think if I'm Dan Quinn, I think it's twofold. I think they need to reestablish their dominance of their pass rush. That's been their calling card since Dan Quinn took over here in Dallas. Takeaways and pass rush. The pass rush, the pressures, the sacks, they've been on a little bit of a decline. They want to get back hot and recapture that going, and then solidifying that cornerback spot opposite Trayvon Diggs. You see Trayvon Diggs here at the top. Deron Bland playing opposite him.
Here is a little give to Thomas, or make that Rodgers, or Armani Rodgers. And look at this Dallas defense. And Greg, it's not just the sacks that have been quiet the last month. It's that they're not getting the pressure or the hit, so it's all of it. Sometimes the sacks go down, but you're still getting pressure. They're not doing that.
Yeah, and that's where everything starts with this Dan Quinn defense. It's where their coverage starts. It's where their ability to generate takeaways, tip balls, interceptions, forced fumbles. All of it starts with those down linemen getting after the opposing quarterback. So Dan Quinn would love nothing more for them to kind of find their magic again and go into that wild card round next week with some momentum in the pass rush game.
Second down, quick throw. Samuel's a high throw, had to go up again, and he's going to lose yards. There's a penalty on the complete opposite side of the field as well.
They were trying to set up a screen on both sides, and I think they're going to get an ineligible player downfield here on the bottom of the screen away from the catch.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Yeah, so there isn't a 52, so the number maybe 53, Trey Turner, not sure. By the way, Micah Parsons was, looks like it's going to be declined, so it'll be a third down. Micah Parsons is back on the field, so we showed you, looked like he was limping a little bit after that play the last drive. Back out there, 3rd and 8.
Yeah, we mentioned that cornerback spot opposite Diggs. Right now you're seeing 37, Trayvon Mullen. He's one of the young guys Dan Quinn wants to see get some game action.
Pressure at the middle. Howe going deep. Has a man. Short throw, and McLaurin tried to come back, looking for a flag. And he's going to get one.
Well, Mike Pereira is smiling next to me because he knows how I feel about these calls. We reward an underthrown ball.
Defense, number 27. The ball we placed at the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
Mike Pereira is looking at me out of the corner. I think he wants to jump in. Mike, you know how I feel about this.
I know exactly how you feel about this, but in this case, you can't even think that ball's uncatchable. It's underthrown. It hits the defender in the back who has no idea where the ball is. So to me, this is clearly interference.
He has no idea where the ball is because it was 5 yards underthrown. We love those moments, Mike. We know how we both feel about that penalty.
Patterson bouncing around on the right side. Good hard run inside the 35. But Greg, to your point, first of all, you're not going to win a rules argument with Pereira.
Never.
Stop.
Never.
Second of all, you're talking about who's going to be the opposite corner. So Mullen getting a chance, immediate penalty. So it is important. Find out who's going to be that guy in the playoffs.
And it is. And probably their best candidate for that spot is Deron Bland, number 26. But Dan Quinn wants to keep him in that inside slot. They play so much nickel, so much 5-6 defensive backs. They like him in the slot, but they don't like him enough in the slot to feel like they're going to get beat on the opposite side because they can only have Trayvon Diggs cover the opposing team's best player.
Howell has it. Look at this lane. Going to run and going to pick up the first down. I think even he was surprised that there was just nobody there, and Howell runs for the first and a gain of 9.
Yeah, this is a nice, just kind of play action boot. Get him out on the perimeter. You see Logan Thomas, the tight end, in the flat. Anthony Barr takes him, and there's no flat defender out there. He sees the green grass. He takes it. Does a nice job there of getting down once he knows he has the first down.
Now, to your point, and last year at North Carolina, he had 828 rushing yards. So he's definitely got the ability. Pressure. Howell's in trouble, and he's still on his feet. Now he goes down. Sam Williams got to him and picks up his 4th sack of the year.
Yeah, one of the Dallas defenders is down here, but you can see Micah Parsons, he just wins on an inside move on the right tackle, Sam Cosmi. He wins so fast.
That's Carlos Watkins, the injured Dallas defender, rotational defensive lineman. While they look at him, we'll be right back after this message from Progressive.
To you, it may just be an elevator.
Here goes nothing.
But for a young homeowner becoming their parents, it's a learning opportunity.
Come on in. The more the merrier. Paris, huh? Bonjour. We got any out-of-towners in the elevator?
Tom, it is not easy.
10th floor, huh? Must be a heck of a view.
Okay. See how everyone else is facing this way?
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
Okay, that was terrible.
Okay, let's hang back. We're going to try that again.
All right, so Carlos Watkins walking off, slow to get off, and I wonder if he ran into his own teammate here. Let's take a look.
Take a look how fast Micah Parsons wins. He starts Cosmi out. That's just an inside counter move. Anytime you see the offensive tackle overset, they call it, meaning he sets too wide. You'll see 91 there. Watkins kind of takes a knee to knee by Sam Williams, kind of on that top of that right knee. Let's hope he's able to return and that he's all right.
Patterson cuts up the middle. Good cut. Patterson showing the speed, and he's got a first down. Strong run from Jared Patterson, getting his first touches of the year here in Week 18.
Yeah, take a look here. Watch Damone Clark. He's playing Tampa too. He's playing pass. He ends up on the snap just running through the middle of the field. I don't even know what he's looking at. Clearly expecting a pass play there, and they run right at him.
Yeah, go back to it. Why not? Not much there this time. As we play this final minute of this first quarter. Well, it's interesting for a team that had so much negative news, getting eliminated from the playoffs last week, and all these guys hurt, not playing today. Washington's come out with a pretty good spark here today.
Yeah, it's been a combination that Washington came out to play hard. Typically, Ron Rivera teams, that's kind of their calling card. No matter what's on the line with the season, he always does a good job getting his players up. And I think this Dallas team has come out a little lethargic. I expect them to play better as it goes on. They know they want to have a good Week 18 before next week playoff run starts.
Patterson. And nothing there. Maybe a yard as Chauncey Golston came in to make the stop, and that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Washington threatening, got an early touchdown, the first of Sam Howell's career, and it's 7-0 after one. NFC East has been great this year. Eagles trying to wrap up the 1 seed today. They do it with a win. Cowboys still have hope for the division title with help. Giants are in the playoffs, and Washington had their chance. They just have faltered this last month, and they got eliminated last week. So it's been a really good year, except for here, where the Commanders looked like they were on their way to having all 4 NFC East teams in. Instead, they finish out another tough year, under 500, just trying to build on some positives and really see if they got a little something in to Sam Howell, who they drafted this year, the rookie quarterback out of North Carolina. Right now, 7-0 lead. We start the second quarter. Howell had a touchdown on his first toss of his career. And now a 3rd and 6 as they threaten again.
Yeah, and due to the turnovers and kind of the slow start by this Dallas offense, the entire game has been played, in essence, inside of Dallas territory. This is going to be the 9th red zone offensive play that Washington has run. And after you mentioned the first touchdown on the first turnover, Dallas was able to force a field goal. They missed it. Let's see if they can force another one here.
3rd down. Pressure coming. Howell throwing on the run is caught. McLaurin right around on the first down. Let's see where they mark it. And right now, right there, he is short by a football.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Great, right down the line to gain. Yeah, I think he gets it. I mean, you can see the ball right there is clearly on that mark. I'd be curious here if Ron Rivera throws a challenge flag and challenges this spot. Oh, they did. They overturned it. They readjusted it. They did an expedited replay here. They respotted the ball. They're going to give first and goal. Yeah, you can clearly see the ball right there on the 2-yard line. Nice job there by the officials to get that right. First and goal.
Williams, nowhere. Just nowhere to go. Malik Hooker came up from the safety spot, but Dorrance Armstrong really pushed that pile. And a loss of 3.
Yeah, this Dallas defensive line, now they have come out to play. I mean, even on that last conversion there to Terry McLaurin, Sam Howell had to buy some time and get flushed out of the pocket. Doing a nice job against the run. They've gotten after Howell a few times, both sacking him and getting pressure. As we mentioned, that's one of the things Dan Quinn's looking for here in this Week 18 matchup.
11th play of the drives. Howell looking to throw. Back foot, end zone, intercepted. Malik Hooker right there, and the turnover for Dallas.
Sometimes young players just make young mistakes. You'll see Malik Hooker right here. He steps up, and then I think he loses them with his eyesight. Dallas needed a big turnover and a big play, and they get it from Malik Hooker.
Want to stay up to date? Just tell Siri, show me football scores.
Sam Howell is his first NFL touchdown, his first NFL interception now, throws out one in the end zone. But for Dallas, look, they need help. They need the Eagles to lose in their win to win the NFC East. But what do you want to see from them here going forward? It's been a sloppy start.
Yeah, I just want to see Dallas. If I'm them and I'm in their organization, I just want to see them get back to playing well. We've seen the defense now make 2 nice red zone stops, getting off the field. I want to see their offense. I want to see Dak take control of this offense, put together a nice scoring drive, and settle this team into the game.
Let's see if they could get something going here with Pollard. On a first down, going to pick up a couple, but that will be enough to put him over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. Nice little milestone for Pollard, who gets named to the Pro Bowl as well. Came in today 3rd in the NFL in yards per rush at 5.3 a carry. He's had an excellent season. It has slowed down a little bit, and he had the thigh injury last week. You'd like to see him fresh going forward. Lines up as a wideout here. On second down, pressure. Prescott throws, and that should have been picked. Oh boy, Kendall Fuller had it.
And that ball left Dak Prescott's hand. Not only did we think it was a pick, that should have been a pick 6. You can see he kind of just throws this one out thinking he's just throwing it away, and if Fuller just keeps his feet and uses his hands, he takes that all the way untouched.
4-man rush. Prescott, that one might be a pick 6. It will be. Touchdown, Washington. You believe that?
Well, you know the best way to get over dropping a pick 6 is on the very next play. You jump an out-breaking route and you take it to the house. I'm not sure I've ever seen that. You're going to see they just run a little speed out here to the wide side of the field, and he squats and just jumps it. He sees that coming from depth the entire time, and back-to-back turnover-worthy plays. You see Noah Brown, they just call that a speed out. He's just going to round that 5-6 yards out. And Fuller just has his eyes right on Dak Prescott when he takes his hand off the ball. He drives, takes it to the house.
His second interception touchdown of the year, and that extra point is wide, no good. So Kendall Fuller dropped a potential pick 6, and then the very next play grabs one, takes it to the house from 30 yards out, and Dak Prescott can't believe it. Washington 13-0.
Today's game is sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Kendall Fuller, his second interception touchdown of the year. After dropping the first one, the very next throw, he grabs one and takes one back. That would have been one if he didn't slip. So then the next play, they go right back to him, and I'm pretty sure I've never seen a sequence like that ever.
I'm speechless. I mean, I'm with you. I don't know if I've ever seen a guy throw back-to-back clear pick-6 turnovers, have one dropped. Okay, you dodge a bullet there. You go back to the same side of the field and hit him in the face mask again. And this time he holds on and takes it to the house. This, we've talked a lot about Mike McCarthy. How does he want to handle this game? Philadelphia's leading early. Get your starters out and rest them. I just can't emphasize enough. If I'm a Cowboys fan, if I'm Mike McCarthy, I can't think about removing my star players until I find some sort of positive outcome, a great drive, find some rhythm, because this start has been as poor all around as they could have asked for.
See, Prescott of the interception streak. He's got 15 on the year, and he missed 5 games. Here they will run it to Elliott. And Greg, we've talked a lot about Prescott, right? And there's been a lot of interceptions this year that haven't been his fault, that have bounced off other people's hands. But 15's a lot. That's just the bottom line when you've missed 5 games.
It is, and I think the biggest thing is every interception kind of has its own story, right?
No
so
doubt.
I think to lump them all together, always on the quarterback, is a mistake, and obviously that's the easy thing to do. That one right there is clearly on him, staring down his receiver, a little predictable. We have seen some tough breaks, but it's definitely a concern, and Mike McCarthy was clear about that.
Elliott for 1.5 yards. I mean, this has been a sloppy game for Dallas all around, right? I mean, you go back to special teams, it's really hurt him today. Anger just couldn't hold the snap and then tried to get the punt off and got tackled by Milo Eifler. And then Turpin with the muff right into Holmes' hands. And then the pick 6. I mean, honestly, Washington could be up 28-0 right now, but they threw an interception in the end zone, missed another opportunity, and missed a chip shot field goal. So it's 13-0, and it's 3rd and 5, Dallas. Prescott over the middle, incomplete. It was high for Gallup, and another defensive stand by the Commanders.
You have to be impressed, Jack Del Rio, the defensive coordinator, Ron Rivera, with this Washington Commanders team. To have your heart broke last week, lose a game against Cleveland, eliminate yourself from the playoffs, to then turn around here in Week 18 and come out and play this inspired football. Listen, there's a long way to go. This is a really good Dallas team. They could score in bunches. This one's by no means over, but I'll tell you what, I'm impressed right now with how hard they've played coming out of the gates.
Milne after a good punt from Anger, and scurries across the 15, short of the 20. Kelvin Joseph on the tackle. So Sam Howell's starting debut. It's not a lot of help. His Commanders team up 13-0 here in the second. Sam Howell's got a touchdown and an interception in his debut. How is he holding up down there, Tom?
Easy to react well to the first touchdown pass, but how do you react after throwing your first pick, and it's a red zone pick, given that great opportunity? The first person to come over to Sam Howell, as you see there, Ron Rivera, and the message very simple. Move on to the next play. You don't have to be perfect. The next person to come over, Taylor Heineke, who has been supportive of this decision all week. And that's something that Sam Howell told us, how much he appreciated the support of Heineke and Carson Wentz all season long as he gets this opportunity. See how he bounces back, guys.
Stay with the run game here. And out to the 24 is Patterson. Well, Tom, talking about Taylor Heineke, who said, quote, "I'm excited for his opportunity. I think he's going to show a lot of people what he's got." I mean, that's just so impressive for Heineke, who obviously was a starter for a good part of this year, played well, wanted to start last week and this week. As Howell on the fake, no one there, and it's incomplete. Finish that in a sec. Another game break. Back to Carissa.
Thanks, Kevin. So the Niners getting healthy at the right time. They got Deebo Samuel back today and Elijah Mitchell. His first game back since Week 12. Takes this one in for a 5-yard score. Niners up by 8. Kevin.
I mean, the Niners might not get the 1 seed. Does anybody want to play the 49ers in the playoffs? Raise your hand.
I'm sure not raising mine. That is a, when healthy, and you heard Carissa mention, they're getting some guys back. When healthy, they are as talented on both sides of the ball as any team in the entire league.
Third down. Pressure. Howell's going to tuck and run. Going to get the first down and more out across the 30, showing you that running speed that he has. And he picks up the first.
This is a quick process here by Sam Howell. He gets to the top. He sees that middle of the defensive line just open, and he just takes it. He doesn't even work through his progression. That's a nice job. Watch, he sees this. No one's open. Bang. Go. Starts with his first read. It's not there. He becomes a runner, knowing he has plenty of space there in grass to get that first down. Another example of that athletic ability that we've been talking about.
Howell taps, throws, caught. Dotson, his first of the game. And then the speed. Jahan Dotson into Dallas territory, and he's inside the 40. Good throw and catch to Dotson, and a gain of 30.
Yeah, when talking about this Washington offense, I don't think they get enough credit for just how talented their receivers core. That ball actually got tipped. First round pick, Jahan Dotson. You see him here making a big explosive play. We've seen Terry McLaurin make his impact. Curtis Samuel. They have three very dynamic, fast, explosive receivers. They don't maybe get the accolades, they don't get the production that maybe some of the other top guys do around the league because of some of the inconsistencies at quarterback and with some of the protection. But you see there, the young rookie first rounder, they think they've got a special one.
Samuel on a pitch, and that fooled nobody. Dallas is ready. Dorrance Armstrong's had a couple good plays here today, and he makes another.
Yeah, you see, they haven't gotten Curtis Samuel the ball until that point. They try to go with the old toss reverse. They're counting on Dorrance Armstrong to see that toss and be flat down the line, chasing it from behind. But a nice job, credit to him, keeping his eyes up and seeing the reverse and making the tackle for loss.
Second and long. Patterson. Just inside the 40. It'll be a third down and long. Dorrance Armstrong has had a really good year, and he's been banged up the last few weeks and playing through it with a knee and a right ankle injury. Greg, he hasn't had a sack since week 12, really because of it, but a career high in sacks. He's got a block punt, he's got a block field. He's just in the middle of a lot and doesn't get as much attention nationally as maybe he should.
Yeah, and I love the way Dan Quinn, we asked him, we said, you know, what is his role? What is the key to his play? He said his versatility is his role. You mentioned he blocks kicks, he can play the run, he can rush the passer. They line him up all over different spots along the defensive line. As you mentioned, he's having a career year.
Third and long. Howell over the middle. That's not going to get it done, as catch is made by Thomas. And now it looks like they're going to try for a long field goal. It's been a tough day for Joey Sly. He's missed a 31-yarder, and he's missed an extra point. They're going to give him a shot here for a long one. It'll be marked as a 52-yard try. Certainly well within his range. Sly boots this one. It is no good. A doink off the post. Wow, rough day for Joey Sly, and another missed opportunity. And we'll be right back after this message from State Farm.
Hey, Jake from State Farm. I want that personal price plan. So how's this for personal? I draw mustaches on players' faces when they're asleep.
Coach Reed, you don't need to get that personal to get the State Farm personal price plan. It helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Oh. Coach, it happened again. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
Call or click to get a quote today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It has been a tough day for Joey Sly. He's missed 2 field goals. He's missed an extra point. Feels like Washington's up by 100 in this game, but it's only 13-0. See if the Dallas offense can get going with Pollard not there. John Ridgway. Well, there's nothing quite like hearing the doink. Yeah, except if you're the guy who kicked it.
Yeah, off his foot, it looked good. I think we have a Washington player down.
I think it might be John Ridgway that they're tending to. Down on one knee it is. Ridgeway getting a lot of reps today with Jonathan Allen out with a knee injury. Now, Cowboys offense has been discombobulated today. You look at what they've done, and the answer is not much. CeeDee Lamb is having a phenomenal season, doesn't have a target. Dak Prescott has thrown a pick 6. You get the idea. 2nd and 7 on the fake. Loading up, going deep. Noah Brown can't make the play. Had an opportunity there, but couldn't haul it in.
Percy Butler, number 35. He's getting some action today at strong safety. Nice job by him. Kendall Fuller again. We saw him have the pick 6 this time. That is great coverage. Dak Prescott makes a really nice ball there. Gives Noah Brown a chance, but give credit to Percy Butler filling in. Cam Curl, their young safety, one of their better defensive players. He's been out with some injuries. A chance for Percy Butler to play, and Ron Rivera told us he's a young player that has a chance to have a future around here, and nice play there by him.
3rd down, going deep again, this time for Lamb, and he overshot him. Wow, Dallas offensively just out of sorts. Prescott just 2 of 9 passing today for 14 yards, and they'll punt it away.
Yeah, you said earlier, I mean, we showed all the miscues on both sides, and Dallas finds himself down 13-0, but you said it feels like they're down 100. I mean, they're fortunate to only be down 13-0, but at some point, this Dallas offense is going to have to find their way, not just because of today, not just to try to win this game, which of course is what, but just to have some positive mojo going into next week.
Dallas has 4 3-and-outs on offense. Fair catch called by Mill, and he does so up across the 16. So around the NFL today, all these playoff spots are going to be finalized. Here's the update. This was actually from yesterday. The Chiefs rolled over the Raiders. They got the #1 seed in the AFC. Then you move to today. The Jaguars, well, actually still yesterday. Give me a second. Jaguars won the division, a defensive touchdown, and they beat Tennessee. They're in the playoffs. The Dolphins made it today. It was a low-scoring game against the Jets, but they are the #7 seed in the AFC. Buffalo won. They're the 2 seed. The Bengals won. They're the 3 seed. And so that means also if Buffalo and Kansas City play in the conference championship game, they'll play at a neutral site because of the game that was canceled this week. So here's Washington on 1st down. Going to get to the run game with Williams. There's Scott Turner, offensive coordinator for the Commanders. 3rd year here with Ron Rivera. Former quarterback at UNLV. 3rd quarterback of the year for Washington. It's Howell making his debut on 2nd down. They're going to run it again. And Williams, there's really been nothing there all day. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, Scott Turner, I was with him in Carolina. He came in my final couple years there with Ron Rivera. Ron brought him in and his father, Norv. He's got a very imaginative mind. I think with these skilled players, if they can find a way to kind of stabilize that quarterback position, and maybe it's Sam Howell, maybe it's a veteran, maybe it's somebody in the draft, I think that's yet to be determined, but they need some help in the offensive line. I think offensive line needs to get younger. They need to get in some young players that they can develop, because skill-wise, we mentioned those 3 receivers, Brian Robinson in the back. They've got some pieces offensively.
3rd down. Howell, pressure. Gets a block, looking to run for it. He's going to pick it up. He got a really good block out there, too. I think it was Jonathan Williams who helped him out. And 2nd time today, he uses his legs to get a first.
Yeah, for anybody who's watched Washington play, especially over the last couple years, he plays a little bit like Taylor Heineke, right? There's a little improv. There's the ability to kind of scramble, make some plays with his feet. He's a bigger, maybe a little bit of a stronger arm, but kind of a similar competitor to Taylor Heineke. And that's exactly what the vibe is in the locker room amongst the players and the coaches. And we've seen him pick up a couple big 1st downs on 3rd by doing just that.
Howell, and taken down for a sack. Osa Odigizua came on through and got him.
Yeah, this play, there was a missed timing. You're going to see the jet motion here. There's just no timing. Sam Howell turns it to fake it. I'm not exactly sure if they all knew exactly who was getting the ball. I'm not sure if he was faking that to John Bates, 87, the tight end who was playing fullback. But from the very beginning, the timing of that play was thrown off, and usually when it starts bad, it gets worse.
Third sack for the Cowboys. 2nd and 15. Gonna hand it off again. And it's not gonna get much. I feel like it's a good time to tell you that tonight on Fox, alert! It's one of the thrilling new dramas on TV. Missing Persons Unit. Scott Kahn, Danya Ramirez team up in the new riveting series. The 2-night premiere of Alert, Missing Persons Unit, begins tonight on Fox. $13-0 Commanders. 3:30 to go in this first half. Dallas needs a win and an Eagles loss to win the division. They're in the playoffs regardless. 3rd and long. Howe over the middle, has a man wide open, Thomas, and he's flipped short of the first down. Maybe about 3 yards short, and they're going to send out the punt unit.
This Dallas defense, they got off to a tough start, got put in a bad spot there, gave up the early touchdown reception to Terry McLaurin, and then really since then, they've been put in some bad spots, the turnovers, deep in their own territory, and they've stood. You got to give credit. Dan Quinn has his defense rolling here early. They've got to come to life on offense now and make this thing a game.
Yep. Turpin back. Looking for a seam, and there really wasn't one. Well played by Washington. Let's go down to EA.
Well, guys, I've been standing by this Dallas offensive line every time they've come to the bench, particularly Zach Martin. He's come over to the sideline shaking his head a bit. Let's touch on the fact they're without their center, Tyler Biotish. They've had a ton of lineup changes on this line, and Zach Martin saying this week, look, we've been working this way because of camp, having to use these different combinations. We just are trying to get better working together. But you guys know Mike McCarthy saying, I don't want to leave these guys out there this whole game, but they have to come up with some rhythm.
That's a great call. Aaron Biotish has had a good year, got hurt against Tennessee, out today. Here's Lamb who makes the catch on first down. And it has been a year of shuffling on this offensive line for Dallas, right? I mean, you think about where it started week 1. They had the rookie Smith on the left side, Steele, who had a great year on the right side. He got hurt a few weeks ago. And some different shuffling back and forth. Peters in there today, McGovern at center. Tyron Smith playing on the right side for the first time really since his rookie year. That's Lamb again, gets out right around the first down. Looks like he will have it, and he will. As we hit the 2-minute mark of this first half. Cowboys looking for something on offense. So far it's been all Commanders. 13-0. 2-minute warning.
Coming up on the Verizon, halftime will help paint the playoff picture. The AFC side's all set. The Miami Dolphins grabbed the last playoff spot over there. TB will have all the highlights. Plus, we'll check in on Jalen Hurts' return in Philadelphia. We'll see you at the half.
Kurt, look forward to that. 2 minutes to go in this first half. 13-0 Washington. Sloppy for Dallas. Offensively, they've only got 2 first downs in 45 yards. It's hard to score when you're doing that. Prescott has a pick 6. Kendall Fuller got him there. That's the story of the game so far. Going to get on track against a 4-man rush. Prescott dancing around and now throws to the middle as Schultz has his first catch of the day and still up and going, gets up, has a first down. But Dalton Schultz on the board, his first reception. Cowboys trying to go with a little alacrity here, and now we get a whistle and timeout.
Yeah, you got to imagine that it looked like Dalton Schultz was touched while he was on the ground. You got to imagine that call's coming from up top. Yeah, I think they're going to review Dalton Schultz. It looked live like he was touched on the ground. Let's take a look at it here.
It's the left hand that's on the back of Schultz on the way to the ground. So therefore, since he had control and then was touched with the left hand, then that means he's down by contact at that point.
Well, there you go. You see Schultz, that hand contact going to the ground. Right there, the hand's still on him, so as he's going to the ground. So yeah, as Mike Pereira tells us, Greg, it should coming on back. That's what they're looking for upstairs, and now they do put the football back. Looks like where he made the catch, so it won't be a first down after all. Look, if you're Dallas offensively here, Eagles just had it on. They're up 16-0, and I just wonder, I don't know if they could get a nice 2-minute drive here. Do you feel a little bit differently about how their starters are looking in this game?
Well, I think for Mike McCarthy, you got to think long and hard about it. I think you are looking for some sort of positive from your offense today to make you feel comfortable saying, okay, your regular seasons are over. The next time we see you, we're playing for a one-and-done playoff game, presumably down in Tampa Bay. And I'll tell you what, that's a tall task to go on the road. And every team entering the playoffs, the goal is you want to be playing your best ball. Of course, you want your best seeding, you want to get a home field, all of that, but you want to be playing your best football going into the playoffs. So that's right now what I guarantee is in Mike McCarthy's head, saying, all right, let's have a good 2-minute drive here. Let's get Dak some rhythm and timing. And now I can finally start to consider getting these guys out of the game and getting them ready to go full speed next week down in Tampa.
Well, still discussing this, you see Mike McCarthy having some conversations. Let's go back to Mikey P. Mike, what's the long conversation here? What do you think is being discussed? Any idea?
Sometimes I never know, but they are talking maybe in a replay review and the timeout that was called. Are they going to give their timeout back? Now, normally you would in a replay review, but this would be going from a running clock back to a running clock. So therefore, since it doesn't go to a dead clock, the timeout should still stand.
Yeah, I can bet that is the conversation that Mike McCarthy's having right now. Well, we know this.
After review, the runner was down by contact at the 41-yard line. It'll be second down. Please reset the game clock to 55 seconds. Then we'll have a 6-second subtraction, and the game clock will go to 1:45. 1:45. The clock will start on my signal. Thank you.
You can see Dallas, they're hurrying up to get to the line. They know once the head referee gives the signal, that clock's going to run. So you can see they're up on the ball. That whistle's going to blow, and Dak Prescott's going to snap this, save every second they can.
Prescott over the middle, in stride, good throw and a first down. Michael Gallup has it for Dallas. Plenty of time with all 3 timeouts in tow. 1:34 to go as they get to the line quickly. Prescott lofting near side. Schultz had to go up and get it, and it's incomplete. You know, it's a good thing he did because Kendall Fuller was in position to pick off another pass.
Absolutely. And Kendall Fuller, he looked like he was under a punt there. Look, he's standing there. He thinks that ball's going to hit him in the face. Look, he's ready for it. Good effort there by Dalton Schultz to at least elevate and get that right hand on it, because he at least broke up another interception there by Fuller.
Second down, blitz coming. Prescott sees it, and it's behind Schultz, incomplete. Malik Hudson, some pressure there. It brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, the timing was just thrown off because of that pressure of Khalil Hudson. Dak Prescott had no choice but to let that ball go early. Dalton Schultz hadn't yet come out of the break. And that's why there was a little miscommunication and bad timing on that last ball.
Four-man rush this time. Prescott stands in, delivers. Schultz got a first down. That time the connection works and the drive continues.
Yeah, that all started with the protection. Washington only rushed 4, playing really soft zone coverage. Dak Prescott could get all the way through to his final read.
Over the middle. Hilton's got it, diving forward near the 25, another first down. 49 seconds ago, they've got all 3 timeouts. Looks like they're going to use one of them, and they will. So Dallas calls their first timeout of the half. And finally, positive drive for Mike McCarthy. Getting a little bit of rhythm, still a little bit off kilter, but a little bit in rhythm here, converting on third down.
Yeah, take a look at how deep Washington's playing. You can see T.Y. Hilton, he's here in the slot as the number 2 receiver. Take a look, when he catches this ball, the Mike linebacker, all the safeties, the corners, they're so deep. I know right now they don't want to give up anything over their head for a touchdown. They had a chance here to keep Dallas out of field goal range, but they're just playing such soft zone coverage. Expect them to get a little more aggressive here, see if they can get after Dak Prescott.
He's got time, throws it, and lunging to catch it, try to catch it anyway. He did not, it was Lamb. Bring up 2nd and 10.
So right now, if you're Dak Prescott, of course, you don't want to take a sack. You're in field goal range. Everything now, you've got to be moving forward. You want to end this half here with a positive, at least a field goal. But obviously, they want a touchdown. And if you're Washington, your pass rushers, Chase Young, they've got to get somebody in the backfield, try to knock them out of field goal range, or at least force a longer kick.
Prescott fires, incomplete. Tried to get it down the seam to Schultz. Pretty good coverage. Mayo was there at some help as well. 3rd and long.
Yeah, we've seen Dak Prescott hook up with Dalton Schultz on that middle read. They called it Tampa 2 coverage. David Mayo, the middle linebacker, he's responsible for carrying that receiver the entire way down the field. That's tough for most Mike linebackers. Nice job there by Mayo.
And a penalty. Dallas going to move back 5 yards. Now there's a discussion. The clock was stopped, so there's no 10-second runoff or a forcing of Dallas to use a timeout. Dak Prescott, 8 of 19 in this first half for 65 yards.
Timeout, Dallas, their 2nd of the half. 30-second timeout.
And of those 8 completions, I mean, that's a startling number, 8 of 19. And of those 8 completions, a handful of them have been on this last drive in this soft kind of prevent 2-minute style defense that Washington's been playing. They have not been able to get the ball downfield. They've not been able to generate really any explosive plays to CeeDee Lamb or T.Y. Hilton. Saw him attempt one there to Dalton Schultz.
By the way, the initial signal was a false start there. I'm just talking to Mike Pereira. That you saw the same thing as I did. They give Dallas a timeout.
And it was a little strange because it didn't come from the sideline. The umpire came in and actually said there was a timeout call.
So they get the timeout. No 5-yard penalty. 3rd and 10. 39 seconds to go in the half. 4-man pressure. Prescott in trouble, spins away, long way to go, makes a good deke and a dive forward for Prescott. And right at the first down marker, he should have it. What an effort from Dak Prescott. Let's see where they mark it. He might be a little short on that mark. Dallas uses a timeout here.
I mean, take a look at this. Montez Sweat comes off the edge so fast. Dak Prescott, his ability to escape this is remarkable. He takes that sack there. It sets up a 50-plus yard field goal. Instead, he has this down to a 4th and short. For everything that's gone wrong for Dallas offensively today, that effort there by Dak Prescott is the difference between ending this with a 50-yard field goal and ending this half potentially with a touchdown.
But to do it, they're going to have to convert on a 4th and a short one with no timeouts remaining.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer here. And with 32 seconds around the 15-yard line, you have plenty of time that you can still run this ball, get up, and still clock it, and give yourself a few attempts at the end zone.
Prescott gets the surge and has a first down.
Yeah, so if you're Washington now, you're laying on the ground. You're trying to be as slow as you can, unpiling. You can see Payne, he's grabbing Zach Martin. They want to take up as much time. And then Dallas, on the other hand, is trying to go fast.
And they're going to go for it. Prescott steps into it, going end zone, incomplete. So they got the first down, but they took 22 seconds off the clock. And now just 10 seconds remain in the half.
Yeah, they wanted to save the down, give themselves 3 full attempts at the end zone before they'd have to settle for a field goal. But right now with 10 seconds to get 2 more attempts to push the ball into the end zone, they're going to be right on the cuff. This ball's going to have to come out of his hand fast. If it takes too long, they're going to have to settle for the field goal on 3rd down.
Prescott firing, and it's caught for the touchdown. C.D. Lamb. With 6 seconds left.
And that touchdown is all set up by the effort of Dak Prescott to extend that. You can see Bobby McCain here in the slot. I'm not exactly sure why he doesn't just paste on to C.D. Lamb. There's no other receiver in his area. You know they have to throw the ball into the end zone. Kind of an interesting choice there, but again, all set up by just a remarkable effort by Dak Prescott to escape the sack by Sweat and convert the 4th down.
And Maher, the extra point is up, and that is no good. What is going on today? Nobody can kick. And so it's 13-6 with 6 seconds left in the half. Well, you talked about that effort from Prescott. This was a 3rd and 10. Got away from a strip sack potentially, diving forward to make it 4th and less than a yard. And then if you're a kicker today, this has not been the game for you. Joey Slice missed 2 field goals and an extra point for Washington, and now Brett Maher just hooks one enough on the extra point there. So it's 13-6.
We've said it a few times now. At least if you're Mike McCarthy, the idea of potentially taking out Dak Prescott, taking out Pollard and Zeke and Zach Martin, some of your core starters on offense, at least that now can enter your brain. You had that 2-minute drive there. You can end their regular season experience with some positive, because everything prior to that had been pretty tough.
And so 6 seconds to go in the half. See the other scores up on the screen. Both Philadelphia and San Francisco winning, which would mean the Eagles get the #1 seed and San Francisco gets the 2 seed. Dallas will play Tampa in the playoffs next week if everything stayed as it is right now. C.D. Lamb's had an incredible year. Another Pro Bowl for him, over 100 catches, over 1,000 yards. And Greg, it wasn't pretty, but at least if you're a Cowboys fan, the offense showing a little life on that last drive.
Absolutely. And again, credit to Dak Prescott. He had a rough half. You mentioned his numbers. He has not been playing at a high level, but when his team needed him to make a play and be that spark, he provided it.
Well, we go to the break with Washington with a 7-point lead. 13-6, the Verizon halftime show with Kurt and the guys coming up after a word from your local Fox station. This NFL stuff is easy.
Man, what a dream start for Sam Howell. Huge mistakes.
Touchdown, Washington.
Take it to the house.
Firing, and it's caught for the touchdown. C.D. Lamb. Today's game flow brought to you by Progressive. Washington by a touchdown at the half as we welcome you get set for the 3rd quarter. And Mike Pereira's been dying for more airtime all year. So I mean, here you go, Mike. Are you happy?
This is great.
I mean,
I love having it.
And so
wonderful.
it's a potential false start that
Let's
gets
go.
me
Give it
on.
to us.
Here's why, right? There's
us.
an issue, right? We talked about this on the broadcast, but then we went back and looked at the video just to make sure. Dallas gets away with one here,
yeah,
right?
Dak does call timeout, but it was after Peters flinched. So really, this should have stayed as a false start. Now, with delay of game penalties, you give leeway to the offense, and maybe if a coach called timeout if it's close. But in this case, it's clearly a false start and should have been a foul.
Well, and what that led to was a touchdown for the Dallas offense. And now, if you're Mike McCarthy, How do you play in the second half? The Eagles are winning relatively big over the Giants, right? At least you had a decent drive by the offense. What do you think he does?
Yeah, I think that drive, as we said before the half, I think that drive at least makes it a conversation.
Yeah.
At least makes it. I think without that drive, you're sending Dak and the first-string offense at least back out there to see if they can end this regular season with some momentum. So I'm going to be very interested to see how many starters, specifically on offense, when Dallas gets their first possession here following Washington's.
We had to tell Mike that the on-camera was over. That
I kind of want him to stand between us. Can you stand between us the entire broadcast, Mike? That felt great.
There you see the numbers from this first half as Washington will start with the football. Here's Patterson. Out across the 25, up near the 30 as we go downstairs to Aaron.
I want Mike Pereira down here with me. That's not fair, you guys. Hey, Mike McCarthy going into the half. I'll tell you about the starters in just a second, but he was not happy with the turnovers by his offense. He said, you need to hold on to the ball, take care of the ball. You're not going to win when you turn it over like that. Third down as well, only 2 for 9 from his offense in that first half. He also said they're going to address trying to run the ball a bit more. All right, I asked him, what are you going to do with these starters? He said, what's the score of the game? At the time, it was 13-0. It's now 16-0. He said, we're going to keep playing these guys for a bit here.
Yeah, maybe getting a little bit more of a groove. Here's Washington on offense, and they're going to run it with Williams as we go downstairs to Tom.
Well, talking to Ron Rivera coming out at halftime, he said he was very pleased with Sam Howell, of course, with one exception, that red zone interception. He said that's a throw he's made 100 times. He tried to drop it in there rather than throwing it the way he should and knows he can to the far pylon. Defensively, very pleased, except for giving up that score toward the end of the first half. Get your hands up and block. And in terms of Joey Sly and his struggles, he said, I went to him and directly said, we're going to need you in this game. Stay with us mentally, guys.
Hasn't been a good game for kickers. We know that. Here is Williams, going to be just a little bit short of the first down. And now I'm curious, Greg, for you, what do you want to see from Sam Howell here, right? I mean, he's only thrown it 10 times, does have the touchdown and the interception, as Tom said, in the end zone.
Yeah, I want to see Scott Turner and this offensive staff here in Washington, I want to see him play within the system a little bit. I want to see them take a little bit of the training wheels off. I know they're trying to protect him, especially on early downs with the run game, but I think you have nothing to lose. I think you let him play it, you let him run the entire offense at his disposal, and let's see him push the ball down the field a little bit.
3rd and 1, they're going to run it, and that is a disaster. The Dallas line all over it. Chauncey Golston and others.
Yeah, just too wide of a path. It's short yardage, but watch how flat everybody goes. All the linemen are reaching hard left. There's nothing downhill. Nobody creases the front. Give credit there to the defensive line. Odigizua, Golston. I mean, the guys up front, they've played hard, both run and pass, for this Dallas front.
So here's Tress Way, the Pro Bowler, to punt it away. Turpin dancing around and gets hit up at the 23. That's where Dallas will take over. Down by 7 here in the early 3rd. Looking for a little help from the Giants today.
Today's game is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance.
Well, Dak Prescott is a little bit of a cold start, led a touchdown drive at the end of the half, and this offense has been humming since he came back from the thumb injury that caused him to miss 5 games, but interception's been a thing. And as Greg said earlier in the game, well, it's certainly not all his fault. There's been plenty that have bounced off receivers, or his arm got hit or something like that. And you see, though, this game had an interception, pick 6, 2 for 9 to start, but got going on that last drive. Here's the out-of-town score. Said they were looking for a little help from the Giants, because if the Giants beat Philadelphia and the Cowboys won here, they would win the division. Well, they're not getting it. The Eagles are winning 16-0, and a Philly win would mean they get the #1 seed in the NFC and would send Dallas to Tampa Bay next weekend. But we'll see how that all unfolds. Here is Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott, penalty flag. That one may be coming on back.
Holding, offense, number 86. 10-yard penalty, first down.
You asked Mike McCarthy this week, Greg, about, hey, what do you want to see here tune up for the play? I said run blocking needs to be better. Run defense needs to be better. He said the tackling on D has been great. Want to keep it going. He said we just got to stop not only the giveaways but the giveaway opportunities. Well, there's been tons of giveaway opportunities today.
Yeah, and I would say right now offensively he's 0 for 2. Right, the run game hasn't really gotten going. The run blocking hasn't been great, and of course we've seen the turnovers. So big reason why they're all still in there.
Try the run again. Elliott tries to get to the outside. Can't get there. Percy Butler, we saw him in coverage earlier, and the rookie getting an opportunity. The 4th round pick out of Louisiana makes the stop.
Yeah, and when we talked to Ron Rivera, we asked him about him, and he said, listen, if it wasn't for Derek Forrest, number 22, playing so well, we think Percy Butler, we thought before the season in training camp, we thought as a rookie he was going to play more for us. So with Cam Curl, they're a really good young safety missing today's game. This is a great opportunity for Percy Butler to kind of be the guy they thought he would be back in training camp.
Prescott, blitz is coming, steps away, throws underneath to Lamb, makes the catch and breaks through a tackle. Nice effort by C.D. Lamb as he gets all the way out to the 25, and it brings up a 3rd down and manageable at least after a 13-yard pickup, and Dallas going quickly. Far side, Elliott didn't turn around. Ezekiel Elliott was just kind of running out there to nowhere, never turned around, never knew the ball was coming, and the Cowboys will have to punt.
Yeah, they build kind of like a 4-man side, right? You can see they got 4 receivers here, and oftentimes these flats turn into wheels, but they're flats first. If you're open, you're looking over your inside shoulder, in this case over your left shoulder, and that ball is going to be put on your face mask for run after catch. And typically if you don't get the flat is when you turn it up. So I'm not exactly sure why Ezekiel Elliott wasn't expecting that ball.
Here's Anger's punt. Milne makes a man miss. Gets a seal block up across the 45, and a good return as Milne decked just before midfield. And Washington will have good field position here in this 3rd quarter. They got a 13-6 lead, trying to take down their rivals here in Landover. Well, Ron Rivera turned 61 years old yesterday. Happy birthday, Coach. His 3rd year in Washington. And playoffs first year, almost pulled off the upset over Tampa Bay with Heineke in that wild card round. But then 7-10 last year and 7-8-1 now. They were eliminated last week after it looked like they were surely going to be in. They've gone 0-3-1 the last 4 games. And you see, that's been the difference, right? 0-3-1 the last 4, but 0-3 the last 3. The offense has dropped off the table. Last week, the worst performance of the year against a game at home against Cleveland. That was so disappointing. But, Greg, you played for Ron for a long, long time. Come in here with everything that's going on in this organization with the pending sale and all the off-the-field stuff. And the fact that they haven't won, it feels like, in an eternity, trying to turn this around. The fact is they haven't had a winning season under Ron Rivera yet.
Yeah, and that's the reality. And I think when Ron was brought in 2020, they win the division. They kind of shock everyone. They viewed it as kind of a turnaround. But he was brought in to legitimize the organization, bring back some credibility, bring back some consistent leadership. And for the most part, he's done that. Their inability to solve the quarterback position has been what's plagued them.
And look, that's the story with any team, right? Until you figure out the quarterback spot. But you look at Rivera in Washington. I mean, you think about overall 21-27-1, that playoff appearance where they almost pulled off the upset in 2020. But the offense has been an issue, right? They haven't figured out the offense really in Rivera's time. And again, the quarterback is a big factor in that. And now questions about just going forward. Organization. Patterson's going to get it. It's an organization that's taking bids for sale. I mean, there's so much uncertainty.
Yeah, and I think it brings up the really interesting conversation that's going on in all organizations who are looking for potential coaching changes. When you have a defensive-minded head coach, the value and the importance of finding that young quarterback of the future, right? They often go hand in hand. The best coaches who have success and prolonged success as defensive-minded head coaches, typically they always have that consistency behind center. That's been something Washington as an organization has been searching for well before Ron Rivera got here, and they haven't been able to find it. Is Sam Howell that guy? We won't know the answer today.
He's going to go deep, though, taking a shot downfield, and it's incomplete. Dotson had a chance, but he could not bring it in as Mullen had pretty good coverage.
Yeah, and really the first time we've seen Sam Howell let it rip, and he placed that ball in a great spot. You see Dotson, he gets on top of Mullen, he's behind him, and this ball couldn't have been thrown any better. I mean, that ball's got to be caught. That is a future connection that if these two young players can continue to play well, it's a big reason for that optimism. But to finish our conversation, whether or not Sam Howell is that guy, we won't know today, but there's a lot within the organization that thinks he's at least one of the candidates.
And that punt goes into the end zone, so Dallas will start on the 20. So Howell taking a shot deep. Dotson, the rookie, just couldn't haul it in. And these Commanders fans, a familiar sight, hands over the eyes. Although they're winning. They're winning.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Burger King. You rule.
Today's Next Gen Stats powered by AWS. You like win probability? It was 50-50 before the pick six to Kendall Fuller, then it went up dramatically. You see 67%, currently 62% for Washington because they're up by 7. And Dallas has the football, so there you go. Let's see how that fluctuates throughout the game, or maybe we'll never look at it again. I guess we'll find out as the game goes on. You never know. 13-6 Commanders. Cowboys with their starters still in. Eagles up to 19-0 over the Giants now, so the NFC East title looking slimmer. They're looking to get some mojo here. Haven't had it today, and they won't get it in the run game here with Pollard going absolutely nowhere. So the run game has been quiet here today. The only touchdown by Dallas, CeeDee Lamb. That got them on the board at the end of the half on a 15-yard score. Lamb has had an incredible year. 106 catches for him now, up over 1,300 yards. 9 touchdowns for him. See if Dak looks his way here. Second down, no, incomplete. And it'll bring up third down and long. But for Lamb, Greg, in the year when he became the #1 guy, he's delivered.
Absolutely. It was a big reason they let Amari Cooper go. It wasn't that they didn't think Amari Cooper could still be a big part of this offense. It was they needed to make space. They knew they needed to create opportunity for CeeDee Lamb to kind of take over that #1 role. And what's cool to watch with CeeDee Lamb, and it's kind of becoming a trend throughout the league, he does so much of his damage from inside as a slot receiver. It's very hard for defenses to account for guys when they can line up in different places.
Out here on third down, though. Prescott over the middle, knocked away. Danny Johnson with excellent coverage, knocked it away from Gallup as Lamb was on the sidelines for that third down play, a rarity. And here comes a punt.
You took the words out of my mouth. I'm looking around to try to find CeeDee Lamb, and he's standing on the sideline. You'll see Michael Gallup. He's running what they call a corner stop. It's supposed to look like he's going to come out on a corner. Then he kind of pulls the string back, and again, great coverage by Washington. This defense, they've stood tall all day. Aside from the 2-minute drive before the half on the CeeDee Lamb touchdown, this Washington defense has played really well.
Milne. Looking around, not much there, well covered by the Dallas special teams. A little frustration on this Dallas offense today. CeeDee Lamb wanted the ball there deep. And another 3 and out. Washington lead. Well, a special halftime presentation here. Sonny Jurgensen, the Hall of Famer player, had his number retired. I mean, you think about a guy that's heart and soul of the organization. 55 years here in Washington as a player, quarterback. Then he was in the radio booth forever, for 2 decades. You take a look at the ceremony for the 5-time NFL pass yards leader. Thank you, Sonny, with the big number 9. And there's the unveiling of the jersey. It's only the 4th player in the 90-year history of the organization to have the jersey retired, and certainly well-deserved, and really kind of, it was after Sonny, but he kind of ushered Washington into so many successful years.
See his flag flying there next to the late great Sean Taylor, teammate of mine. They've had some pretty iconic people play for this organization. That's pretty special for Sonny and his family.
Hey, he and Billy Kilmer in the shot as the run game is going nowhere. They share that quarterback room. And it was interesting, near the end of that tenure with those guys, in comes Joel Theismann. And, of course, we know what he did here. And Joe says, you know, even though they were competing for the starter job, they were united in their hate for me.
That's such a – I mean, that's an all-time quote. I mean, that's a pretty remarkable quote there to describe the vibe within a quarterback room.
I think Joe came in Sonny's last year, I believe, when he was in that room. Of course,
could you imagine if the story got out about a quarterback room with that sort of animosity in today's world? People would lose their minds.
I don't think they had Twitter back in that time. Here's Howell going to throw far side of the field for a short gain. Jaron Kearse there on a nice tackle. Will bring up a 3rd and long. So far, Howell, you look at judging his performance today, it's kind of hard. He's only thrown the ball 12 times.
Yeah, and really that last deep ball in the last possession on 3rd down, which was a really good, accurate throw to Dotson, couldn't quite haul it in. We haven't really seen him throw the ball downfield much.
Looking to do so here, and there's penalties, multiple penalties. This play is blown dead, and Washington's going to be moving backwards.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's on the center, Wes Schweitzer. And so it'll make it a 3rd down and long. Penalty, sloppiness.
Yeah, for any young quarterback, these 3rd and longs, we've seen with the early struggles on 1st and 2nd down, something Washington has struggled with all year, towards the bottom of the league in 1st down yards gained, and it forces you in these 3rd and passes where now Dallas can just tee off.
Although Howell has some time, just going to dump it underneath Williams, and not going to get there, not even close. And here comes another punt.
Yeah, Washington has to find a way to generate some positive gains on 1st down, keep their offense ahead of the sticks, keep Sam Howell. The best opportunity for a young quarterback, really any quarterback in the league, to have success passing the ball is to stay in more rundowns, meaning the defense has to be more honest because the down and distance allows them to have to play both pass and run. And Washington's not forcing enough of them with these first couple possessions of the half.
Hunt got some pressure there. Way able to get it away. And now Turpin, not a fair catch, and he gets tackled immediately by Dyami Brown. Nice play on special teams and a good solid tackle.
Yeah, teammate of Sam Howell. Part of the reason why he set all those records at North Carolina. Here he's playing gunner on punt. That's a wide receiver running down the entire length of the field and making a really short tackle on a Pro Bowl punt returner. Scott Turner told us if we didn't have such three great receivers in front of him, Dyami Brown's a guy we think could continue to do more on the offensive side of the ball. He just happens to find himself behind 3 really good players. But that was a great play right there.
Here's Elliott trying to get that run game going, and there's nothing doing. This Washington defensive line has played a heck of a game. And another big play there. Benning Potoa'e on the tackle. Well, this February, buckle up. One of NASCAR's most thrilling events returning to the LA Coliseum under the lights. NASCAR's Busch Light Clash of the Coliseum. It's February 5th, only on Fox.
And the same thing we say about Washington, but now with a veteran quarterback like Dak Prescott. All these no-gain rush plays on 1st and 2nd down puts him in a bad spot.
Blitz coming. Prescott sees it. It's incomplete. A little bit behind Dalton Schultz. And then Johnson was there again. He had a great week last week and did some good coverage here tonight, too.
Absolutely. Really nice coverage. They change it up there. We saw him play a little bit more zone early in the game. This time they match up and play man. You'll see Schultz. He's trying to run the shallow cross. And just great job here from depth. Undercutting this route, going hands to hands. And you can see there's a lot of bodies around Dak Prescott. Zeke does a nice job picking up the blitz, but they're just bodies around Dak, forcing him to get that ball out maybe a little earlier than he wants to.
3rd and 12. Prescott throwing it way deep. Far sideline. Incomplete. Hilton, the intended receiver. And it will be the 7th 3-and-out for Dallas. And now there's an injury with McCain down there. I think it's either McCain or Fuller. It's actually Fuller, 29, not 20. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, and this was the 3rd and 30 miracle completion for T.Y. Hilton's welcome to Dallas moment on Christmas Eve. Find themselves in a 3rd and long, and Dak just throws it up, and I think he got both hands on it. Yeah, he just couldn't quite pull it down. And now if you're Washington, you got to hope Kendall Fuller, we saw him have the pick 6 earlier. You got to hope maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him, landing pretty hard on his back.
That's a good sign. So Fuller is up. It'll be a 4th and 12. 7 3-and-outs. 7 for this Dallas offense.
Yeah, and I don't want to, beat a dead horse here, but the entire idea coming into this game, they understood in their heart of hearts, if you're Dallas, that the likelihood of Philly stubbing their toe against the New York Giants team, who pretty much sat everybody of significance in that game. This Week 18 game, the idea was come in, be sharp, get in, get out, and turn your attention next week to Tampa Bay, and it's been far from that.
So now Anger punting from his own end zone. Fair catch Milne at the 40. And so Washington will have good field position with 5:34 to go in this 3rd quarter. And now Sam Howell. Do they get a little aggressive? 8-13 passing, 75 yards, had a touchdown on his first throw of the game because the special teams play gave him the ball on the 20, and did also have an interception in the end zone. A 5th round pick this year, making his NFL debut today. The 6th overall quarterback taken in this draft. Set all kinds of records at North Carolina State as a 3-year starter. First down, looking to throw. How far side, has a completion to Dotson, and then spins and turns on the speed for a first down. Jahan Dotson, good catch and move.
Yeah, the key here, take a look. When his head comes around, look, head around, ball. The timing of that is perfect. They call those a 9 stop or a fade stop. He drives the defender off thinking it's a go ball, but the second you plant your foot and turn around, that ball needs to be on you. It's a timing rhythm throw, and 2 rookies connecting for a really nice first down. That's what I'm talking about. Be aggressive on early downs. Give him a chance to find some early success.
Here's Howell on the fake, gets it out. Thomas, the tight end. Penalty flag flies as Thomas nears a first down, but let's see what the flag is.
Yeah, the entire offensive line was down the field. It looked like. Let's see if that's what they call.
Well, as I sort this out, I just think about, you talked to Howell this week, Greg, and, he hasn't had a lot of reps, even in practice time, running the scout team, not every single week, depending on who was starting in the quarterback room.
And eligible receiver downfield, offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's on Chris Paul, left guard, rookie getting a start today. But just for Howell, who really hasn't played at all since the preseason, it's a pretty tall task today, no?
Yeah, and let alone you're playing the Dallas Cowboys, which for most of this season, their defense has been one of the top units in the league, one of the best defensive fronts that you're going to face anywhere in the NFL. So you got to give him a lot of credit. This is not an easy situation. A lot of missing pieces around him, but he's hanging in there.
First and long. Got to try to get the run game going. That ain't going to work. Osa Odigizua. Let's go down to Tom.
It's not only how you manage the offense and the preparation, guys, but how you manage the moment. I mean, he characterized this, Sam Howell, as a dream for him to have this opportunity to start. Talking to him before the game on the field, I asked him how he slept last night, and he said better than he would have expected, in part because of how tiring all the prep was. But he also said he slept much better than he did before his first college start. He started as a true freshman at North Carolina. It's been interesting to see him try to manage the moment here and some of the frustrations, as well as obviously that great start. See how he keeps it up.
Second down. Fires. Dotson in stride. Beauty of a throw. First down. He's down to the 20. Oh, that was a perfect throw from Howell and a pickup of 20 yards. And there's an injured Cowboy right on the 20. As you see Dotson, it's Jaron Kearse, their outstanding safety. And Here he was, Curse on the tackle. He just kind of rolled over and stayed. Now he's up. That's good news. Hopefully. Well, Curse has had an outstanding year for Dan Quinn, who just raves about him.
Yeah, I think we all view these now in a little bit of a different light. You know, we have a little different perspective of just how valuable it is when a player is able to get up and walk off. You see Curse there kind of slam the back of his head on the turf. You got to hope that it's nothing significant. But I think all of us, KB, especially after Monday, you know, when a player is down, I think we just look at it from a little different perspective and just hope that you see him be able to walk off. And fortunately for Curse, he can, and hopefully he's all right.
And so a first down, though, after the play to Dotson. Here's Patterson right up the gut and churning forward to the 15. He's got about 6 yards. Going back to how you said at the very beginning, hey, they cannot judge this kid's future by today. Why?
Yeah, and I think it could be good or bad, right? He could have come out today and light him up. He still might finish and throw 4 touchdowns. I don't think that's the indication that it's a foregone conclusion he's the guy. And then on the other end, if he has some struggles, maybe he makes a bad decision, we saw with the red zone pick, today needs to be just looked at for the big things, how he handles the preparation, how he handles the huddle, the big level. The small things will still sort itself out the more time he gets.
They're going to run to Patterson, have a first down. And still going. Still running. Look at this. Taking on everyone inside the 10. It'll be a first and goal.
What, Patterson, he's getting some opportunities. He puts his hand down, his knee never goes down, and he just keeps churning. I think Dallas thought the play was over, and both these young backs are giving themselves an opportunity here. Brian Robinson being out, the young rookie who had a great first season after overcoming a tough start, of course, but got a lot of young players out there that are doing a good job.
Bring Curtis Samuel in the backfield now. Going to run a little option. Howe, foot in the ground, nice cut. Howe is in! Touchdown, Washington!
Well, it's one of those design runs. We thought that it would creep in at some point. We talked about how good of an athlete he was in college, the success he had running it. A designed quarterback option. Nobody takes the quarterback. Someone has to have the quarterback. Someone has to have the pitch man. Nobody picks up Howell, and he takes it upfield for his first rushing touchdown now of his career. What a debut.
And the extra point is up and good, which has been no small feat here today. So you're saying, how are we going to judge Howell? Well, we know this. He's got a little
look at this formation, KB. This is unbalanced. This is the tight end, Logan Thomas. So it pushes everybody over to the unbalanced side. So now there's 2 for 2. Logan Thomas does a nice job blocking. He's able to cut it back, and he just does the rest. Nice play design. The formation had Dallas kind of misaligned initially. They were trying to get adjusted to the unbalanced. And right as they were, that ball was snapped, and Sam Howell does it himself.
And, you know, you talk about being a great teammate. Who's there first when he comes to the bench? Taylor Heineke. That's just good stuff for Howell in his NFL debut. A touchdown through the air, a touchdown on the ground. And he's got the Commanders in front. You see his day. You know, he told us, he said, I like to run. You know, it gets me going, and I think you're going to watch. You're not going to think that he's Lamar Jackson, but I think you could see that he's got some skill around the football.
Absolutely, and in today's NFL, the ability of your quarterback to not only run with design runs like we saw there, but we've also seen him pull the ball down on some big first down pickups.
Here's Turpin, room to run for him, and wrestled down out near the 29. Dak Prescott has been sensational this year. And you look at, though, what has happened today. I mean, they have 6 points on the board. He has a pick 6, and he's 10 of 27 for 93 yards. The whole, it's not all on him, obviously, but the offense as a whole. They come off a game against Tennessee where it's kind of ugly, but a short week. They just emotional win over the Eagles. You understand that. But today, this is not what Mike McCarthy wanted to see. Down a couple scores. Prescott to throw over the middle, incomplete again. Tried to get it to Noah Brown.
I think these last couple drives, what stands out the most to me is all the contested catches. It seems like every ball Dallas attempts, every pass they attempt, is being contested by one of these Washington defensive backs or linebackers. And, you know, sometimes that's on the play, sometimes that's on the player. Just create some separation. But I think you got to give credit to Washington. Nothing to play for, but playing hard.
Here's Pollard. Looking for a seam. There's just none there. David Mayo from the linebacker spot came up to make the hits. This run game non-existent today for Dallas.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, we asked point blank to Mike McCarthy what he wanted to see, and that was the first thing out of his mouth. We have to have some confidence in our run game going into the playoffs.
2.2 per carry on the ground. Here they're going to have to throw 3rd and 10. Four-man rush. Prescott stands in, incomplete. A big collision, tried to get it to Noah Brown, but Derek Forrest barreled in with Kendall Fuller.
Yeah, you see, they're trying to throw. They call this a dig route. It's just like an in-breaking route. Fuller undercuts it. We mentioned earlier, Derek Forrest, number 22, his play has kind of been a big surprise, positive surprise for this defense here in Washington. And listen, if you're a Washington fan right now, I think you're sitting at home and saying, where was this effort last week? If we would have played like this, with this energy, this level of emotion, we'd be playing for a playoff berth today. It came 1 week too late.
Washington secondary playing great. Here's Anger with the punch. Mill will call fair catch, and he does so. 44 seconds left to go in this third quarter. 20-6 as we welcome you to the booth, and we say hello. There we are. Right, Mike Ferrer's down there. Kevin Olson. Greg, I'm Kevin. Are you worried? If you're the Cowboys right now, if you're a Cowboys fan, are you worried about? I mean, this is pretty ugly today.
Listen, I think it's twofold. I think anytime you can make too much or too little out of 1 week, and I think when you look at the entire body of work, there's a lot to be excited about if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, if you're Mike McCarthy and this staff. But we've said it time and time again. You don't want to, quote-unquote, limp into the playoffs, meaning you don't want to be playing anything less than your best ball before this playoff start. And barring some sudden turnaround here today, that appears the way Dallas came out.
Here's how to throw it. Loading up. Going deep. And he's got a man. It is caught by McLaurin.
Well, that is a perfect illustration of when you have elite speed and a quarterback that has a big-time arm who can spin it and push it down the field. I mean, this ball is in stride. He runs right by Mullen, 37. That's two great deep balls. One not completed. Now this one completed along that right sideline. And Sam Howell, he's starting to feel it a little bit, and so is this crowd.
52 yards for Howell, who seems to be getting better as this game goes along. It'll take us to the end of the third. What a way to end that third quarter. Howell loading up and firing deep. 52 yards on the money to McLaurin. Washington pulling the upset. Terry McLaurin, one of the most underrated players in the league, who got his first Pro Bowl bid here this year, and having another fine year. Over 1,100 yards, 74 catches coming into today. He's got 3 for 74 today and a touchdown, and that was a perfect throw and catch. 52 yards, and you talk to him, how do you not follow him? What a leader he is for the team, and really kind of become the face of the franchise. Production with so many different quarterbacks, and a new one again here today with Howell. 10th quarterback he's played with as Patterson gets the call. It's pretty amazing, right, Greg, to have that, have 3 1,000-yard seasons in a row with 10 different quarterbacks. It's unheard of.
Yeah, and I think you said it right. He's kind of under the radar. I mean, when you think of top elite #1 receivers, I don't think he's one of the first handful of names that kind of rolls off the tongue. But when you look at the production and then the context in which the production was gained, which is in a pretty tumultuous quarterback situation, a lot of guys in and out, you got to give Terry McLaurin a ton of credit.
Here's Howell to throw. Howell ball is tipped and it's incomplete. You saw J-Ron curse that last shot. He's still not back in the game for Dallas. And, you know, kind of hanging. Remember, we saw him go off and get checked out. So not sure if that's something there or Dallas just decided to hold him back. Third and 6. Howell throws incomplete. Mullen had good coverage that time on McLaurin. And this possible audition of cornerbacks for Dallas.
It is. Dan Quinn said, I'm going to give Mullen some opportunities. I need to know what he's capable of. That's close to PI, Mike. Mike, you're shaking your head. I mean, he got there early on that replay. What do you think?
Well, you're looking at a restriction. He actually grabbed the right arm and turned him a bit, too. Yeah, that was enough of a restriction for interference.
Yeah, it was a bang-bang one there, and I agree with you, Mike. I think it was PI, but nonetheless, for him to bounce back after giving up that deep pass.
28-yard field goal try for Sly, and that one he's got. Missed 2 previously. Washington adds to their lead. Make it 23-6 here in the fourth quarter.
Hey, KB, we lost a great one this past week. Art McNally just inducted into the Hall of Fame, first official to be inducted in. An incredible man. He spent 9 years on the field in the NFL, 24 years in the office. There's been 6 heads of officiating since then, including me. We all strive to be Art McNally. None of us ever got close to that. He'll be laid to rest tomorrow in Morrisville, Pennsylvania, and he will be missed by every single solitary official that has ever officiated in the NFL.
Mike, that was really well done. And so rest in peace to Art McNally. First and only official in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 23-6. Washington leading Dallas. Giants have scored, so it's a 10-point Eagles lead in Philly, so that game is not over. But obviously Dallas has a world of points to make up here. And with the way they've played on offense, it's 123 total yards today. I guess you just wonder if there is a threshold where Mike McCarthy says, you know what, forget about it. Just going to take guys out to prevent any injuries.
It's definitely creeping in his brain. I think, it's one thing to have a poor performance. That's 1 week. You put it behind you and you move forward. As you see from that graphic, this has been uncharacteristic, but you also don't want to add injuries to a poor performance. That would be a disaster.
And just another misfire. Prescott now 10 of 30. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're thinking, well, man, just get it out of your system now, right? Come ready to go next week.
Absolutely. And, it's funny how the NFL works. Oftentimes you're riding high. We came onto the air talking about how this offense has been so prolific since Dak's return from the injury earlier in the season. And sometimes it takes a week like this of humbling to get some of this worked out. And you come back, you have your best week of practice, and you feel like you're better off as a result.
Prescott on target there as Schultz comes back. The ball is out at the end, but they say Schultz was down. Just a little bit short of a first down.
Dak's going hurry up here. This third and short, packing it in there tight.
Quarterback sneak, and he's got it. And again, you're talking about the year that Prescott has had, and I know the interceptions, but we've talked about it today. There's certainly one on him, but there's been plenty that weren't on him. But his production has been incredible. That's why today's so jarring. Pressure on him here near side, and Hilton goes up to get that one. Just to give you an idea of just how good it's been for Prescott. I mean, think about this. Took him most points per game by a starting quarterback since 2020. He's number 1. He's ahead of Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, and I don't think anyone would have guessed that, as we have an injured Commander down on the ground, and that'll take a stoppage here for Dallas. Bobby McCain, the safety, is the one down.
Yeah, I think that latest graphic that was just put on the screen, I think that's probably the most impressive graphic that explains the entire picture. And I don't know how many people would really guess that. I think so much of the conversation around the league is the 2 most elite players, especially at quarterback. As you see Bobby McCain, he's able to get up and walk off, thankfully. Obviously Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, it feels like they're kind of in a a league of their own, but it's all about scoring points in this league, and nobody does it better than Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
And they have until today. You're just not the showing you want to see going into the playoff, what's looking like next week against Tampa Bay. Second down and 1. He's going to run it to Elliott. Be close. And that looks like he's got it. And so the drive will continue. Starters remain in for Dallas, looking for some positive here. Quick throw, Schultz again, up into Washington territory. He's down to the 49.
And oftentimes, we saw the success Dallas had in the first half with the 2-minute drive for the CeeDee Lamb touchdown. Oftentimes, when teams are struggling to find the rhythm, the first thing they try is to go no huddle up tempo, and that's what Dallas is doing here.
Pressure up the middle. Prescott gets away and has another completion. It's Schultz again, who's running free inside the 30, but there's a penalty back by the quarterback. This could go either way. Let's see. Now the Cowboys are immediately walking backwards.
Holding. Offense, number 73.
Wow.
10-yard penalty. Second down.
It's on Tyler Smith, left guard today.
Yeah, Tyler Smith, the rookie first rounder, started at left tackle, moved into left guard. You can see Daron Payne. Daron Payne's had a career year, going to be a big free agent. A lot of questions here in Washington whether they're going to be able to re-sign him and keep him paired with Jonathan Allen inside. But Tyler Smith has had a really good rookie year. The ability for him to slide in from left tackle to left guard with the Biotish injury at center. That time he gets called for a hold.
Blitz coming. Prescott unloads quickly. Lamb, nice caught. CeeDee Lamb, who is spinning and working his way down near the 45. Going to be about 1.5 yards short of a first down, maybe 2 yards short of a first. Good effort by Lamb. Got his 5th catch here today. Third and 2. Prescott gonna run, and he's taken down just short. It'll be a 4th down.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer here. You're not going to see them sub. You're not going to see them huddle. You're just going to see them line right back up. Same formation. You know, imagine they have a sneak. There's no question they have something off of it.
Boy.
Wow, it's really close.
Let's see the spot here. That doesn't look like he got it.
See, initially he's kind of stood up, KB. You can see that Washington defensive line, and it was the Tony Pollard push from behind that really is the only reason he even got close. Got another Washington defender down on a knee here as they bring out the chains.
And they're short. Washington takes over, but still the injury timeout concern there. And with that, we'll be right back. Washington football. NFL playoffs are here, and it starts with Super Wildcard Weekend presented by Verizon. 12 teams, 6 games, 3 days, one epic weekend. The road to Super Bowl 57 starts here. Stay tuned after the games today for the announcement of the full schedule. Cannot wait, Greg. We will be somewhere. Let's go back to that 4th and 1 stop by Washington. By the way, Khalil Hudson walked off the field, the injured player. He seems to be okay.
Yeah, the key to a good offensive line doing well on the sneak is to get under the pads of the opposing defensive line. In this case, the defensive line, you can see clearly across, man for man, gets underneath the offensive line of Dallas. They stop the initial push of Dak Prescott, and if for the Tony Pollard push from behind, it wouldn't even been as close as it was. So credit to this defensive line. They've played well all day.
Jaron Kearse back on the field for Dallas as Washington stays with the run to Williams. Yeah, Washington, you know, a lot of talk obviously for us because Dallas is going to the playoffs and Washington is not about Dallas's offense looking really out of sorts. But you kind of Washington's defensive line, really their whole defense, they've played a terrific game. They've had Dallas to 163 yards. They've held Dak Prescott 14 to 34. They've got a defensive touchdown. It's like you said, I think Washington fans are home saying, wait, this is a week late.
Yeah, and they're doing it without arguably their best defensive player in Jonathan Allen. He's out today, got injured last week in that Cleveland game. So, yeah, if you're a Washington fan, you're saying, where was this a week ago? This would be a different season.
Here's Williams, who's tripped up in the backfield. Nicely done, Odigizua on that stop. And meanwhile, the Dallas defense has, for the most part, done their job.
And I think right now, the message, barring a sudden change here in how this game ends, just under 10 minutes here in the fourth quarter, I think if you're Mike McCarthy, the only way you can spin this game, and you have to, is we're playing for more than just our pride of Week 18, right? To Washington, they're just coming out here to play for pride. They have nothing left. Dallas has their entire season ahead of them. You have to remind the players there's bigger things ahead.
3rd and 3. Howell fires, misfire, looking for McLaurin, and it wasn't close, and it's incomplete, and here comes the punt.
Yeah, that's just a young quarterback not seeing. Dallas had nobody out wide covering the back who shifted out. And last minute, they were all miscombobulated inside. And they just completely leave Bates, the tight end. Look, they're running out. Bates comes off the ball. He's wide open. Sam Howell doesn't see the miscommunication on the left side of the field by Dallas. He tries to work the right side, and now they got a punt.
Fair catch for Turpin inside the 10. And so the NFC East merry-go-round, I should say, well, that'll continue because it's been a different winner every year for the last 17 seasons. And Philly just scored. It's 22-9. Looks like it's going to be 18 years in a row with no repeat winner in the division. It's pretty remarkable, like just on accident that somebody doesn't win 2 years in a row. But here we are.
Yeah, Dak Prescott, this starting offensive line, they're rolling out for another drive. And
yeah, all the starters are.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy obviously values getting some rhythm and confidence in this group more than he does worried about the health.
Blitz coming. It's picked up. Prescott, though, late pressure, just throws it incomplete. The initial blitz was picked up, but then Hudson got through. And so 2nd down and 10. You know, the way this game is going, you wonder, though, if there is going to be any momentum.
Yeah, you see Khaleke Hudson, he's in for Jamin Davis.
Yeah.
The former first-round pick of Washington, he's in getting a lot of playing time due to the injury to Davis, and does a nice job there playing through the blitz pickup and getting a hit on Dak and forcing the errant throw.
Another blitz. Prescott sees it and throws it in the ground.
You have to ask yourself, at some point, are you doing more harm than good? Right? I mean, I think...
You mean mentally or physically?
I think mentally. I think mentally, the idea is you want to give them all these extra possessions and all these extra drives to kind of break out a little bit and end the game on a positive. But at some point, if it continues like this, you have to ask yourself, is it worth it?
Near side, low throw. Pollard goes down again. It can't make the catch. Incomplete. And another 3 and out. The 9th 3 and out today for this high-powered Cowboys offense, which came in the number 2 scoring offense in the league.
Yeah, and again, you know, we've talked about the shuffling of the offensive line. We showed the graphic earlier about what's happened with Steele going out and Tyron Smith switching sides, bringing in Jason Peters. Been a lot of moving parts, and they wanted to solidify that unit and gain some confidence up front. And this Washington defensive line is giving them problems all day.
Here's Milne. Receives at the 40, stays in bounds into Dallas territory. Well, if you're Washington, Sam Howell getting the start today, but there are some free agent quarterbacks out there. I feel like it's time to play. Press your luck, the old great game show, Greg. And now it's your turn to spin. Who's going to be the free agent quarterback?
No whammies, no whammies. Stop.
Jacoby Brissett, come on down to Washington.
We got to go again. We got to go again.
Greg,
That's not Washington's not looking for. Let's go again. Stop.
Sam Darnold,
all right.
Come on down. Let's try it one more time, Greg. No whammies.
I think they're hoping for Lamar. I think they're hoping for Jimmy G. Stop.
A draft pick.
Okay. See, I think they have a lot of different pathways.
I got to tell you,
I'll tell you
very
what.
good at this game show.
I stink, but I'll tell you what. 14 under center, he definitely doesn't.
But that's why we're showing it to you, right? We're having a little fun, obviously. By the way, that was an all-time game show. Because
your game show voice is incredible, by the way.
Now there's penalties everywhere, whistles blowing, so hang on. Get back to that thought. They sort this out, some tempers flaring.
Chase Young is on the field without a helmet on. Rule number 1 of a fight, you never enter it without a helmet on. For anybody keeping track at home and from the sideline.
Oh boy.
Jack Del Rio's like, stay off the field.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 54. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, they always catch the second guy. Sam Cosmi gives him a little headbutt. Sam Williams doesn't like it, and you know, tale as old as time, the second guy is always going to get caught.
Now, more concern over that, and the frustration is here. Micah Parsons, the end of this play. Some get dinged up earlier, and obviously stay there holding his hand. He's had a wrap on that left hand. He played with a cast on that hand in Tennessee. He's still, got plays through everything, I'll tell you that. But at this point, it honestly seems like this game doesn't mean much for Dallas. Philly is going to beat the Giants and get the division and the #1 seed. So here is Patterson sprinting through the hole, and a first down for the Commanders.
Great job there up front. The tight end, 87, the backup tight end, John Bates. Kind of known as a road grader, big blocker. He does an unbelievable job at the point of attack. And
I want to get back to press your luck. The reason why we're showing it is because Washington,
I couldn't wait for you to get back.
Yeah, I know, but they have to make it. They have to get a quarterback, right? So, is it going to be a free agent? We showed you some of the names that are going to be out there. Is it going to be an opportunity for Howell to at least compete for the job next year? Trying to at least get some answers here today. Here is Patterson. And when you think about it, Greg, this is not like a couple years. This is not just under Ron Rivera's tenure. This is since 1999. Washington, they've just struggled. I mean, look at the record. This is one of the proudest franchises in the league when you think about all their great history. Just 2 postseason wins. They've had 27 starting quarterbacks. You can't win when you have that many quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the obvious. I think the question becomes, if you don't acquire your quarterback in the draft and you don't believe you have the young guy on your roster, there's a few exceptions, but how many veteran guys have come in? I mean, just look around the league this year, veteran guys who've changed teams. Very few of them have found much success.
And they went and got Carson Wentz this year, hoping that a third time would be the charm. But I'm assuming by him not playing today, it doesn't really say that he's going to be here next year.
Yeah, I think right now, and Taylor Heineke's done an admirable job, and he's a great guy and really has the respect of this locker room for how hard he has fought and everything he's been through the last couple years. But I think other than Sam Howell, I think he's got to be on the short list of guys they give the opportunity to say, hey, can we build around you, reinforce the offensive line? We have some really good defensive pieces and offensive weapons. If they don't believe that's the case, then you have to invest in the draft again, try to trade up, try to get one of the marquee quarterbacks. It seems that's really the only approach possible.
3rd down and 4. They're going to be short. Patterson on the carry. And now 4th down. It looks like they'll be happy with a field goal try as we play with under 6 minutes to go.
Hardest thing in the NFL, and the biggest thing every fan base, every coaching staff, understandably so, demands and cries for is to solidify and strengthen that quarterback room. Who is my starter? Who am I building my team around as I look to roster build and acquire free agents in the draft? And when that constantly changes, the demands and the struggles it puts on your personnel department, your coaching staff to every year reinvent yourself around your new quarterback, It's just not the formula for sustained success.
Sly with a 22-yard field goal, and Washington extends to a 20-point lead. But Howell has shown you some good things today. A couple nice deep ball throws. Got a touchdown passing and a touchdown running in his first NFL action. And overall, the Washington defense, as you said, playing without a couple of their stars, has just shut down this high-powered Dallas offense. And you wonder if we'll continue to see the starters in this game. Now looking around the score, you see them on the top of your screen. The Eagles, under 2 minutes to go, they're going to win today, which will get them the #1 seed, which will mean Dallas will not win the division. 49ers routing Arizona. That game's about over. So San Francisco will be the #2 seed in the NFC. Seattle just hit the post on a field goal to win the game. So they're going to overtime with the Rams. They need to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. And then tonight's game, depending on the Seattle result, Green Bay controls their destiny tonight, taking on the Lions. If they win, they're in. If not, it's between Detroit and Seattle, as we will see Cooper Rush in the game for the first time. So Dak Prescott will take a seat. And for Dak, who has been really great this year, today a tough one. 37.8 completion percentage, the worst of his career. And so now it's Rush with Malik Davis in the backfield. Starting offensive line is in. Here's Davis. And Greg, the reality is Cowboys at 12-4 and in this playoff position wouldn't be here for not the effort for Cooper Rush when Prescott missed 5 games.
Absolutely. And it's easy to forget that. But early in the season, they were reeling. Opening game lost. They lose Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush comes in, buys time, and buys that time for Dak Prescott to come back and lead them to this 12-win playoff season. And I think the biggest thing, I think we need to take a second and kind of talk Cowboys fans maybe off the ledge a little bit. I think it's okay, right? You're in the playoffs. Of course you didn't play your best, but it's going to be about how do you move forward? How are you able as Mike McCarthy to put this game behind you and say, okay, hey guys, our whole season is not based on how we play today. It's how we play next week at Tampa Bay.
Here's Rush firing. It's over the head of Gallup, incomplete. And tell me if you heard this before. It's another 3 and out for this Dallas offense. 10 of them on the game.
Well, with an offseason for Washington that you know is going to bring a lot of speculation, a lot of rumor, not quite sure what's going to go on with the sale of the team and a new stadium and everything we've heard, for the players, for the coaches, regardless of what's on the line, to end your season with a win in the division against a longtime rival makes going into that offseason, an offseason of change, just a little bit better.
Milne running around side to side a lot, but not forward after a 58-yard punt and barely a return. So it'll be the Cowboys and the Bucs in the first round of the playoffs. You almost forget it was so long ago and so many different storylines since, but they played week 1. The Bucs shut them down and beat them. Brady's never lost against Cowboys, by the way. He's 7-0. Last 8 postseason road games for the Cowboys, they've lost all of them. Yeah, last win, Troy Aikman was a quarterback. So it's just funny how a couple weeks and you feel completely differently about certain things. Tampa looked awful for a lot of the season offensively. Then we go do their game last week, and Brady's throwing deep balls left and right to Mike Evans, and you're like, uh-oh. And then Dallas comes out here today and lays an egg, and now you're thinking, well, that game feels a lot different.
Absolutely. Things happen fast in the NFL. There's no doubt.
Reggie Bonifant in the game, running back, gets his first touch today. And you see there's some frustration boiling over here. You know, Philadelphia, the Giants have scored. That game is not over yet. And the Giants doing the onside kick, and Philadelphia will recover it. And so now it's going to be over. The Giants are out of timeouts. But, against Giants backups, the Eagles aren't exactly soaring into the playoffs either after what they look like for a lot of the season. The 49ers are. They destroyed Arizona
This
today.
NFC playoffs, man. This is going to be a fun one to watch. There's, that 7th seed is still up for grabs, but regardless who gets it, it's going to be a heck of a field there with those 7 NFC teams fighting it out.
And they'll call a timeout. Let the play clock go down, waste some clock with 3:14 to go. So let's evaluate Sam Howell here today. We've seen him use his legs, 35 yards on the ground and a touchdown run.
Absolutely, and here you're going to see it's a design boot. They're trying to get him out on the perimeter, trying to hit in the flat. No, nobody's there. Take the open grass, get down. Now he's operating traditionally out of the pocket. First read's not there. He sees a lane, 3rd down, go take it. And then it was the rushing touchdown. Unbalanced, option. They just all overrun the play on defense, and now it's just a cutback, and he does the rest after contact. That, along with his ability to throw the deep ball, he has the early touchdown to Terry McLaurin on the drag route. He's shown a lot of really positive things today.
It's interesting. We're talking to J-Ron Curse, just watching. And what do you watch from Hal? You watch preseason, you watch college. And he said, you know what? Kind of reminds me of Heineke, except I think he throws a better deep ball. He said he's got like that moxie, that's something to him. It was a compliment.
Absolutely. And Scott Turner, the offensive coordinator, told us the same thing in our meetings this week. He said he's got a remarkably strong arm. The phrase that people throw around is, can he spin it? How does he spin it? Well, he can really spin it. And what that means is when that ball comes off his hand, it's tight. It has a lot of velocity. We saw it on that deep ball to McLaurin before. And there's a lot of really positives that they can work through. It's just a matter of how confident they are that he's the quarterback going into next season.
Taking us down, that should take us to the 2-minute warning. I imagine each team just happy to run it out and get out of here at this point. With Washington in command, a 26-6 lead. As that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. When we come back, who knows? We might have time to discuss the history of the flanker position, Greg. I'm looking forward to your insights on that one. Still more time. Don't go anywhere. 2 minutes to go here from Landover, Maryland. It's a Commanders commanding lead. See what I did there?
Well done.
Yep.
Well, you see some of the highlights there from the young rookie Sam Howell. But KB, I think the biggest takeaway from today is not the long passes, not the runs and all that. It's after the bad throw for the pick 6, when he has a chance down there in the red zone, he throws a bad ball that gets picked off, how he responded. He didn't go into a shell. He made some of his best plays after the turnover. And I think for any young quarterback, that's the indication about their mental makeup if they're going to have a chance to play for a long time in this league. So to me, that's the takeaway if I'm Washington.
No question. Fair catch by Turpin. Game break time. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
All right, it is official. The Philadelphia Eagles finished the season 14-3 as they won against the Giants today, which means they not only win the NFC East, they are the #1 seed with home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. We'll wrap up today for you on the OT right after you guys are done. Kevin?
Kurt, can't wait to watch after this. So much to discuss, including this. As Cowboys offense 10 3 and outs, tied for the most in the league. Believe it or not, Minnesota did it at Miami week 6. So the Eagles get the 1, San Francisco the 2, Seattle and the Rams in a battle. They're in overtime as final run out. And think about this, Greg. If the Rams somehow win that game in overtime, then the Lions-Packers game tonight is a win in at Lambeau for either team. And if we have time, we'll get you to bonus coverage of that Seahawks-Rams game.
Yeah, what a dream scenario that the final game of the 2012 regular season comes down to a win and in. Aaron Rodgers, Lambeau Field, the upstart Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell. We had them earlier in the year. There's a lot of excitement there. And tell you what, there's a lot of Detroit fans right now that are cheering for L.A. and coming down to the wire here in overtime.
Second down, handed on off to Davis with a minute and change to go. As we get set for the playoffs next week. Try to get you bonus coverage in overtime in just a moment. Seattle on the drive, looking for an overtime win. Now, if Seattle wins, Detroit's eliminated. But then the Packers still have a win-and-in situation tonight. That's what's on the line in that game. In our game, Cowboys are in the playoffs. They just go in with a stinker and have to regroup this week for taking on Tom Brady and the Bucs. One more run. Davis gets absolutely decked. Oh my goodness, Forrest. And time just ticking on down. And that should do it. 26-6, the Commanders take down the Cowboys. Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi, Mike Pereira, Greg Olson, our entire NFL on Fox team. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Commanders beat the Cowboys.